Jai Mahakal and welcome to this amazing tutorial. Today we are going to build a Google Meet clone. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Let me give you a quick walkthrough of what we are going to build today. So I have started the servers and I have opened my localhost 3000 on the two separate tabs. And you can see that we have two options. One is to join a room by entering a room ID, and or you can create a new room for you. Okay, so let us assume that I am the initiator, so I just create a new room for myself. Okay, and let me just copy this and enter the room ID again, and I say join room, and let me mute myself from both the places. So now you can see that um my stream over here, the big one, is being shown over here. Okay, and this stream is being shown over here. Okay, and I can also mute and unmute myself, so just have a quick watch over this place. Okay, this icon. Okay, the mute icon over here might not be very much visible because this whitish thing over here, but I you can see that I can mute and mute myself. Okay, see this. Okay, so whenever I change my mute status, it is getting reflected over here. And there's one more thing that I can turn off my video. Okay, the same gets reflected over here, and I can do it for here as well. Okay, and there's one more thing that more the third a third person can also join, but since it is a mesh topology, I know that I haven't told you about the WebRTC yet. You know, there is going to be a theoretical part where I'm going to explain each and every concept about WebRTC and how does, like, what are the various topologies like P2P, mesh, and SFUs. But right now the point is that a third person can also join, but that is going to take a hit on the performance very much. Okay, so you can try that. We'll see how is that going to work, but this is the feature in general. I can also get rid of this call, and I am okay, the video is no longer over here, and I can also call as well, and that's it. Okay, so this was the quick overview of what we are going to build today. So let me tell you also the prerequisites what are required for this particular tutorial. If you're not aware of WebRTC, then I'm going to teach you. Okay, no doubt there. We are going to have like a session where I'm going to explain each and every stuff on a whiteboard. So WebRTC I'm going to take care of. You must have some experience with Next.js. Even though if you don't have, I'll try to cover as much concept possible in this particular tutorial so that you don't feel left out or confused. This is going to be a monolith repo, so we are going to consume the Next.js APIs folder. So some sort of API handling over there is required. We are going to also use WebSockets. And if you're not familiar with WebSocket, that is also very okay. Nothing hard and fast rule over there, not nothing as a rocket science. It is going to be very easy. So Next.js, so React for the client, Next.js APIs folder for the backend, then WebSockets, then WebRTC, then playing with user media controls, okay, that video streaming and all, then signaling, and a lot more things are over here. So yeah, if I think if you just know React, that is all you need for this particular video. Rest I'm going to make sure that you understand each and every topic. Okay, that is up to me. I am your teacher over here. So leave those things on to me. I'll make sure that you don't get bored, or you don't get left out, or your confidence doesn't goes down. Okay, so that is up to me. This is what we are going to build. And now let us quickly dive into the concepts of WebRTC and let us understand what this fellow is, okay, and how we are going to use it in this particular project. So let's get started. All right, let us now just understand about WebRTC. So learn web. Okay, so WebRTC stands. I hope before starting this particular part, this particular module of this video, I request you all to get a pen and paper so that you can make notes, because it is very crucial right now. Okay, throughout the whole tutorial, keep a pen and paper handy with you so that you can make notes. So coming back to this part, WebRTC stands for Web Real-Time Communications. Okay, so why do we exactly need WebRTC? WebRTC is used to transfer files. Okay, transfer files or streams. Okay, across two peers. Okay, across two peers. So what do we mean by peers is, think of peers as clients. Okay, so let us suppose that there is a browser. Okay, this is one browser, this is another browser. So let imagine this is you and this is your friend. Okay, and this is your browser, this is your friend's browser. Okay, so what WebRTC does over here is that it allows these two browsers to get connected to each other. Okay, it allows to get connected to each other so that these two peers, okay, imagine these two are now peers. Okay, they can share files, they can share files or they can share streams. Stream can be either a audio, video. Okay, in video it can be like your camera, or it can be also a screen share. Okay, so this is what WebRTC is. WebRTC allows you to transfer files, streams across two or more peers. Okay, this is WebRTC. So you have already seen that. Okay, let me just scroll. So you might have heard about. So TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. Transmission Control Protocol. Okay, this TCP, this protocol is being used by chat systems. Okay, sockets. Okay, and any regular communication over web. Okay, any regular communication over web. I'm really sorry for that handwriting. I can't really help myself with that. So I guess you guys have to bear with this. But I hope so. I as I am writing, I'm also speaking, so shouldn't be much problem. Okay, so TCP transmission control protocol is being used by chat, sockets, or any other regular communication that happens over web. Now, what happens in TCP is that in TCP it creates packets of data. Okay, it creates packets of data and it sends those data over internet. Okay, this is what we know. And there is a 99.99% guarantee that the packet would be delivered to the client. Okay, this is TCP. But there is another protocol called as UDP. Okay, UDP stands for user datagram protocol. Okay, user datagram protocol. This UDP guy, what it does is that imagine that when you are on a Zoom call or a Google Meet call, sometimes the incoming streams lags, right? There are some cases where some part of the information is lost. Okay, like the person was speaking and okay, this, and sudden us a gap, and then it starts resuming from there. Okay, since the data is real time, it can't really lag, right? It can't really lag or something. So there is a loss of data happens, right? There is a loss of data that happened just now. So this is UDP, my friend. The loss is not UDP, but the overall transmission of WebRTC. Okay, this sending of streams and other stuffs is happening on user datagram protocol. This is called as UDP. In UDP, this is generally a fast protocol, but there is no guarantee that all of the data would be transferred. Okay, so let me just quickly write it. This is fast, but however, there is no guarantee of 99.99%. Okay, there is no guarantee. Like in TCP there is guarantee, okay, 99.99% will be transferred, but in UDP there is absolutely no guarantee that the data would be transferred 100%. Okay, there is no 99.99 guarantee, but this guy is fast. Okay, this guy is fast, and that sudden that break in the stream which you see is happening because of the information being lost in the servers. Okay, that is we know so far. And why is that फिर से so why is that why is there is a loss? Because there is a loss due to loss of packets. Okay, this is due to the loss of the packets. So in TCP you remember that it creates packets and it sends over the internet. But imagine that packets being lost over internet, then this part becomes UDP, and this particular loss causes a stutter in the streams. Okay, so this was UDP. Okay, so UDP is our WebRTC thing. Okay, WebRTC uses our UDP protocol to transfer the streams. This we know so far. So the real question over here is how to connect via UDP. Okay, this might be a question in your mind that how exactly can we connect via UDP. So imagine that you have your system. Okay, there is another system which you want to send your video. Okay, now what happens is that your system over here knows only the private IP. This particular system also knows only the private IP, and this private IP is not sufficient to communicate between these two devices. They somehow need to know the their public IP. Okay, they should know their public IP in order to get connected. So what is happening? Okay, what is happening over here? So imagine that there is a router at your home. Let me create a good diagram. So I need more space. Yeah, so over here imagine that there are multiple devices at your home. Okay, and there is one router, then there is this whole internet. Okay, this whole internet thing, ugly but beautiful. So this internet, what happens is that your device, okay, consider this is your device. So each devices nodes only private IP, PVT. Okay, we call this as PVT, private. This device knows their only private address, but since this is your router, this router knows the public IP. This is your public IP, which is exposed to the internet. This is internet. What these guys do is these individual devices, this can be mobile, this can be laptop, this can be tablet or whatsoever. These guys interact with the router, which is a public address. This router uses the public address to communicate over the internet and send and receive data. So the internet only knows about this particular public IP. This private IPs are not exposed on the internet. Okay, you have to make note of this. So internet only connects via the known public IPs. Imagine that this is you and there is your friend. Okay, there is a friend as well. He also has a router and he has more devices than you. He has 4 devices. Okay, because he is rich. Now these 4 devices, they have their private IPs, and this is the router, so it has a public IP. Okay, these private devices get communicated to the router, and this router eventually sends and receives data, and it transfers. Okay, bidirectional transfer is happening over here. This is what. And you have to make sure that, not make sure that, there is a universal rule that this particular public IP and this particular public IP are different. Okay, so every public IP is unique. So public IP are always unique. Okay, so over here you saw that um, this is the router and this is the whole mechanism that the internet follows. Now over here there is one problem, right? There is one problem. So now in this whole picture, imagine this device 1 wants to connect with device 2. Now see, imagine the route. It has to go here, 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 and like this. Okay, see, this is the whole flow. This is complex, right? You have to communicate, you have to establish a communication between device 1 and device 2. Then how is that going to happen, right? This is crazy. So what happens is that there is some concept known as turn servers, or we call them as ice servers. Okay, in order to communicate these two devices must know the public IP of each other. So device 1 must know public IP or public information about device 2. Device 2 must know the public information of device 1. Once these informations are being exchanged between device 1 and device 2, they are ready to connect via WebSocket. Okay, this is the holistic features over here. What is the role of turn servers and ice servers? Okay, so turn server and ice servers help device 1 get aware about his, okay, about his public information. Okay, public information of 1. Okay, it gets to know from the turn servers. Then the public information of device 2, again it will get to turn servers and it will try to get his information. Once 1 and 2 know their public information, they are ready to send this public information to each other. Okay, there is an exchange happening over here. Then how exactly is that exchange happening? That exchange is happening via signaling by the use of web sockets. Okay, I hope you understood so far. I know this is a little complex, not very complex to understand, but if you have any doubts, you can just roll back to the previous timestamps and start fresh. Okay, if you watch this part like 1 or 2 times, you might be able to grasp the complete knowledge. All right, so let us check how signaling works and how device 1 and device 2 are able to exchange their information. Okay, so imagine that there is a device 1 which we talked about, there is a device 2, there is a device 2, and now they have to exchange their public information. Okay, this public information is technically known as session description. Okay, this is known as session description, or SDP. Oh, SDP. Okay, so public information is session description, called as SDP in technical terms. This SDP needs to be transferred or exchanged between device 1 and device 2. And how exactly is going to happen? So between device 1 and device 2, there is a socket server. Okay, there is a socket server. Now what it does is that this device 1, once it knows its SDP from turn servers and ice servers, it sends its SDP over to socket. Okay, this socket then again transfers this SDP, let's call this SDP1, SDP 1, okay, to server 2, to client 2. Now once it receives the SDP, okay, it has to accept that SDP, and in return it has to send its own SDP. We will call this as SDP2. Then this socket again sends this SDP2 to S client 1, and client 1 stores this SDP on their machine. Okay. Once this information is being exchanged between 1 and 2, they are now ready to send. Oh my god, they are now ready to send and transfer data between each other. Okay, you can now send your streams, you can send files, or whatever you want. Okay, once this SDP things is established, they are now connected via WebRTC, and they can communicate or exchange any information they want. Okay, this whole process is known as signaling. Okay, note it down. This whole process was signaling. So we understood that. Let me just recap this. Okay, this public information is called as session description, SDP. 1 and 2, they need to exchange their SDP between each other, and in between them plays a crucial role, which is called WebSocket. Okay, this WebSocket, what it does is it listens for events being sent from one, and it emits to other clients, which we are also going to imitate when we implement our own functionality. So over here, just try to understand one thing is that this SDP, someone has to initiate this SDP. So one is was the initiator, then socket broadcast it. Okay, load it out, broadcast. Okay, this socket broadcasts this SDP one to other connected clients. This SDP, once received by two, what it does is it accepts those SDP, and in return it sends its own SDP to the WebSocket. Now this socket again redirects or reroutes that SDP to one. So this is called as signaling. Cool. And once this information is being exchanged between 1 and 2, they are ready to send streams and files among each other. Okay. So this was signaling. Okay. It is a very important concept in WebRTC. Now over here, there are various topologies which I talked previously, like P2P, mesh, and SFUs. So we are going to understand what these topologies are and how this is going to work. Okay, so let us go to fresh screen. All right, so we are going to talk about topologies. Okay, so topologies in general term is just a manner, or a way in which things are arranged in a network. Okay, so there is one topology called as P2P, or we generally known it as peer to peer communication. Okay, in P2P communication, what happens is that the previous example which we saw in signaling, that was a peer to peer connection. Okay, peer to peer connection involves only two clients. Okay, so this is the diagram. Okay, they when only two clients send or receive data, that is a peer to peer connection. This is one peer, this is another peer. Okay, we no longer say peer over here, client over here, we say peer. Okay, so this is peer 1, peer 2. When they exchange information, this is peer to peer communication. The moment we introduce more peers in this whole ecosystem, it becomes a mesh topology. Okay, then another is known as mesh. Why this is a mesh? Because it is a mess actually. Okay, so is this topology is quite heavy and non-performant. Okay, what happens is, imagine there are four peers in the whole ecosystem. There is one peer, there is another peer, then there is another peer, then there is another peer. Now imagine that whole signaling process happening over here right now, just right now. So first of all, this peer 1 will signal its information to this, then it will signal, this client will signal its information to this. Okay, then this one will signal it information to this, then this will get back, this has to connect over here, then this has to send back. Okay, then this has to communicate over here, this has to send back, this has to send over here, this has to get back, then this has to send over here, this has to get back, and whatnot. Okay, imagine, see the number of lines, too tragic, right? So that is why this heavy, and it is non-performant because the signaling process is very very complex, and it gets quite heavy and it is hard to scale. Okay, this is a non-scalable. Okay, this is non-scalable. We can't scale on big numbers using mesh topology. 3 to 4 is fine. Okay, I'll show you this as well. Like when we connect two peers, the connection is smooth. The moment I introduce a third peer in our project, you'll start seeing the lag. Okay, you'll start noticing those lags, and that feels really bad. So then the question arises, then how exactly Google Meet, Zoom, or other guys implement this screen sharing, video sharing on scale? Okay, on scale. This, my friend, is happening because of something called as SFU. Okay, SFU, my friend, is known as selective selective forwarding unit. Okay, then what is this SFU now? Okay, so let me help you and make you understand this SFU thing. This is the most preferred approach. Okay, everyone like Google Meet, Zoom guys, okay, they all use this SFU thing only. So in SFU, what has happened is that virtual machine there is one virtual machine, and then there are peers. Okay, peer as in this is you, this is your one friend who is very rich, then this is one friend who is richer than both of you, then a fourth friend who is richest than all three. Okay, so these guys, one, two, three, four, you guys decided to have a video call. Okay, now over here you see that what happens over here is, instead of establishing a connection between these two, or one, two, three, four, okay, what did we do is we establish a P2P connection between a virtual machine and my peer. Okay, my peer one. So they establish a P2P connection. Okay, between one. So let us suppose that this guy initiated a video call. So it initiated a P2P connection with this virtual machine. Now there was a room ID generated, that shareable link of Google Meet. Okay, that is a room ID. So you got this room ID, you shared with your friend too. Now that friend too, whenever he enters into that room, what it does is, instead of connecting with you, he connects with the virtual machine. Okay, and it established a P2P connection with that virtual machine. Now this virtual machine, what it will do is it will take in streams, video streams, okay, video feed camera, and it will generate one composed stream. Okay, so it would something look like, this is you, this is your second friend, this is a composed stream. Okay, this is a composed stream. So 1 and 2, what they will see now is, instead of seeing each other's screen, they'll see this one composed stream that is being transmitted from this virtual machine. So what you will see yourself, you will see your friend, you will see yourself, you will see your friend. The moment the moment this third guy connects, it again establishes a P2P connection. Okay, and what it does is it establishes a connection with virtual machine. Then this virtual machine, what it does is it updates the compose stream, and it appends one more stream into the compose stream. Now what you guys will see, one will now see the third friend, this will see the third friend, now third will see this compose stream over here like this. The moment the fourth guy joins, okay, via a P2P connection, the compose stream will get updated. Then your first friend will see, then you will the second friend, the third friend. Now the fourth guy will see the whole compose stream. Okay, this is, my friend, very much scalable. Okay, this thing is very much scalable. So this is how exactly the Google Meet and Zoom guys have their SFUs implemented. SFU, building SFU involves a lot of things. We have to deal with virtual machine, dev operations, and a lot of things, right? So in this particular project, we will be going with the mesh topology. Okay, mesh is a little easy to implement and not involves lot of DevOps tools. Okay, we don't have to create any virtual machine or something, and this project will only implement the mesh topology. Okay, and going forward, I hope you understood this particular theoretical concepts, because these are the building blocks of WebRTC. Okay, this is what WebRTC is all about, and this is going to help you understand major things. And you need to be clear with these concepts in order to start working on this project. Okay, if you don't have clear understanding of how the RTC is getting connected, then you'll be just blindly following this tutorial and you won't get the real knowledge. My aim is that you don't only get the theoretical knowledge, but you also understand what you write. Okay, so with that being said, we wrap up this theoretical part of this particular video, and will now jump into the coding section. Okay, so see you guys in the coding section. Bye bye. All right, so let us begin with setting up our application. So I'll head over to my console. I'll open my PowerShell, and inside the projects folder, I'll just create a Next.js project. So npx create next app, um, maybe at the rate 13. Okay. Hello, aspiring front-end developers. Ready to master front-end development, elevate your coding skills, and secure your dream job? I have a fantastic news for you. In today's dynamic web development world, staying ahead is crucial. You have aced the basics of JavaScript and React, but front-end interviews can still be daunting. But not anymore. Welcome to JS Yatra, your complete front-end interview guide. It's your mentor, your secret weapon to conquer front-end interviews. JS Yatra covers four pillars: JavaScript coding, machine coding, system design, and DSA in JavaScript. It's immersive, interactive, and challenges you like real interviews. Today, grab the complete front-end package for just $7.99. Unlock your 2025 LP opportunities. Enroll using the link below. By joining JS Yatra, you invest in your future and support orphan children. Let's make a positive impact together. Remember, you'll find a registration link in the video description, so be sure to check it out for a brighter future. Now, let's get back to the video. So this would ask, what is your name of the project? I'll say Google Meet clone. Would you use TypeScript? Will not use TypeScript for now. We'll primarily focus on building the application first. So we'll just skip using TypeScript. Although if you want, you can use TypeScript. Okay, there's no hard and fast rule. Would you like to use ESLint? Yes, obviously. Tailwind? Yes, obviously. Would you like to use SRC? Not required. We can skip this. Would you like to use app router? No, we'll be using file based routing, so we'll say no. Would like to you customize default? No. And this is going to set up our application. And meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll head over to this repo which I just created, and we'll add our initial commits and everything. So let us see the progress. So what is the progress? Okay, it is getting started up. So let me take a quick break over here and I'll come back when it finishes. All right, so the application is created. So we'll close this. So I'll head over to my VS Code. I'll say open folder Google Meet clone, and I'll bring it over here so that we can code it. So we have this application set up. We have the pages, API, app, document, styles, tailwind config and other stuffs. So I'll start off my new terminal, and in this starter, let us just quickly set up our socket connections. Okay, so we'll see how we can use providers and other stuff to create sockets, and I think that would be all in this particular small module. So I'll head over to my application. I'll see app. Okay, it is having component. Then what about index? Index is having some stuffs which we don't need, so we can get rid of the main file. We can also get rid of image and other stuffs, and I'll just quickly say welcome, maybe nice and tidy. Okay, so we'll head over now. What I'll do is, yeah, I forgot the stuff. We'll just have to set up our repository, right? So I'll say git init, and maybe I'll first of all stash my changes. Okay, I don't want this change on the initial commit, so I'll say git stash. This would stash my commit changes. Then I'll just paste my remote add origin, git commit. Okay, git, I'll say git add dot git commit. Okay, there is nothing to commit, so git push origin master, and we'll head on to the application, and we have got the initial commit from the create next app. Okay, so this was the thing. Okay, you can ignore this notification. I think I just have to make a payment. Anyways, yeah, so coming back to thing, so this is Google Meet clone for you all. Over here the repo is set up. Now we'll all we want is we want to set up the socket IO, right? So socket IO. Okay, we'll go to socket IO, get started. uh Not this documentation, how it works, another introduction. Okay, we'll just have to install it, right? Server installation. So we can copy this npm install socket IO, and then we also have to install the client version. Okay, the client version is socket IO client. Okay, so we install these two packages, and let us also stash apply our changes. Okay, yep. So this is the thing over here. So abhi package or json mein we have installed, we have the next version. This was okay, nothing was changed, it was shifted up, then socket IO client, and basic stuffs. Okay, so now let us come to the interesting part. Okay, we'll set up our socket IO. So it is very interesting to set socket IO in Next.js application, because since Next.js becomes a monolith repo, then things become quite tricky to handle sometimes because of the pages API folder. Um, you we could have used a Node.js, but since we are already using Next.js and it already has a support for APIs, so what I mean by APIs is that if you head over to pages, API, and hello, so you can see that it has something similar to what we have in Node.js. Okay, response or status or JSON and blah blah blah. So you can write your backend over here only. So that is what we are going to do. We are going to create our backend inside the APIs folder, and this is going to serve at the port 5000, and our client is going to run on the port 3000. Okay, so enough talking. Now first of all, we'll go to API over here, and I'll create one folder called as socket.js. Okay, and let us see what we have in socket.js. So in socket.js we have, first of all, we are going to import server from the socket IO. Okay, so this was the server package, this was the client package. Okay, since we are inside the server, okay, the backend server, we are going to import the server from socket IO. So we'll say import server from socket IO. Okay, and then we'll create one handler, const socket handler. This has to be capital. Okay, this socket handler, like other hello files, is going to take a request and a response. If you have previously worked with Node.js, this should look very similar to you right now. Okay, so over here what we are going to do is we are going to say const io equals to new server. Okay, this is just basic boiler plate stuff. Okay, I think these guys might have mm, initialization example. So this is via the HTTP server, HTTP2 server with Express. This is how these guys are doing with Koa, with Nest, Fastify, but they don't have examples for Next.js. Okay, so this is going to be pretty much similar with what we have for Express. So we have imported the server, and then new server, then we pass the server and other stuff, right? So we are doing this part. So we don't have HTTP server over here because Next.js already handles most of the stuff for us. So over here, what we are going to do is new server, and inside in the new server, we are going to pass response dot socket dot server. Okay, and then we are going to set response dot socket dot server dot io, server dot io to io. Okay, and then we'll say if io dot on connection. Okay, this is going to give us the socket to which it was connected, and I'll just say console dot log server is connected. Okay, now before this, what would happen is whenever this API would be called, a new socket server would be initiated every time. This is not what we want. So as you can see that in the response, we are already setting up our server. So what I'll just do is I'll just copy this part. Okay, I'll just copy this part over here. If the server is already set up, I'll say console dot log socket already running. Okay, and if the socket is not set up already, we'll create that socket file, and we start listening for the events. Okay, if you're not familiar with socket, then you can check out that online drawing tool video which we did previously, where I had explained socket IO. But if you but in a nutshell, what this socket is that, see, socket basically is running on HTTP servers, where without making any explicit API calls, you can exchange data between server and the client on demand basis. Okay, so whenever we say that IO dot connection, it means that whenever any client, by client I mean browsers, whenever any browser connect or establishes a WebSocket connection, this particular part would run IO dot on connection, and this would trigger a callback. In this callback, we get a socket connection to that client. Okay, we are going to use the socket connection to broadcast event to other rooms or other clients, and we can listen for events, we can emit events, okay, on demand basis. So this is just a basic starter code right now. So this is what you need to understand. And this part, if this is confusing, then this is just basic boilerplate. Okay, what we are doing is, we since this API is going to be called again and again, and if we just create a new server every time, then the instance of the server would be recreated again and all of the memory would be lost. Okay, so to avoid that, we are setting up the IO in the response, like this response server dot io, and we say that, okay, if this response was already set it up before, then please do nothing. Okay, just say socket already running. Otherwise, if this API is being triggered for the first time, then you create a new socket server, you set the response, and you start listening for the events. That is all we are doing. And at the very bottom, since we are dealing with APIs, so we have to tell the client, okay, this API has finished running, so do nothing, and just say export default socket handler. Okay, this is what we are going to do. So this was a basic API, basic API over here, socket API. Now we have to now deal with client. Okay, so I'll just pin this part over here. So we have written our servers over here. Now is the time to write the client code. Now, what do you think? Just since you are a React developer, what do you think should be the best way to create socket connections on the client? Obviously, we can think of using context APIs and wrap our component in a provider, so that whenever any component wants to use the socket, okay, they get the same instance. We can't create custom hooks. Why? Because whenever a custom hook is like accessed, it creates a new instance every time. But with our sockets, the instance is going to be the same, right? We are going to uh, a reference to the same instance of the socket to every page or every component. So making a context API is the better thing. Context API kind of a global store, okay, kind of a global store we are going to maintain. So heading over to the application, I'll just create one folder. I'll call this as context, and inside the context I'll create one file named as socket.js, and will import IO from the socket IO client. From where this is coming, this is nothing, just boilerplating, nothing else. So initialization over here, if you see, const IO requires socket.io client, and if you change to ES model, this is exactly what we have imported, right? And when how to create, if you are on the same domain, then all you have to do is this. Okay, since this is a monolith repo, the backend and the client are running on the same domain, just with different ports. We really don't need anything in the configurations, okay, like this. Okay, we don't have to provide our servers, and there would be no issues of the cores as well. Okay, so this is one major benefit. So this is what we have to do. Okay, we have to just do IO, and it will establish the socket connection in the same server. Okay, but there is a catch. Okay, there is a catch. I'll tell you what the catch is. Okay, so first of all, I'll create const socket provider. I'll tell you what the catch is in a while. Const socket provider, this would be our provider file. This is going to take some props, but we don't really need to consume anything. And I'll first of all say socket, set socket, use state, and initially the socket is null. Okay, whenever this application mounts, use effect. Okay, all we have to do is we have to say const connection equals to IO, like this, and whatever was the like the server data, we just have to say set socket connection. Okay, this is what this would do is, this would just establish our connection with the socket client. Okay, we can just do export default, not export default, this is a provider, right? or we can just write export over here only. This should be also fine. Export const this. And what exactly are we going to return? So we have to first of all create the context, right? So const socket context, create context, and initially nothing is present in the context. Okay, it is null. And inside the provider, in this context, we are going to now provide some data. Okay, so when we return, I'll say socket context dot provider. Okay, and we are going to render the children, obviously. Then we might need props. We are going to destructure the props children from the props, and we are going to render the children. This is basic React stuff, right? This is basic React stuff. uh, if you are not familiar with context APIs, then you can check out my 11-hour long React course, free React course on YouTube. And over there you can head on to the timestamp where we are discussing about the context APIs. Okay, so you can pause this video, go to that video, check it out, and you can come back. So this is our create context, and in this right now we have not provided any value to the context, right? So we are going to set up some value equals to socket. Okay, this value, this is the socket. And let us just format the document. This is looking pretty. And one more thing is that we have, although we have created the provider, okay, we have created a provider, we might also want to consume this context, right? We also have to consume this context. So I'll say export const use socket, socket. Yeah, this is fine. And what we are going to do is I'll say const socket equals to use a context, and I'm going to pass the socket context, and this is going to give me the value of this socket over here. And all I'm going to say is return socket. Okay, we have established our basic API. Now if I run this, okay, if I run this, we may encounter one issue, and will understand in depth how we can solve this. Okay, so first of all, although we have created this context file over here, we might also have to consume this. What do you think is the best place to consume this? Is it the app? Obviously the app, right? So inside the app, what we are going to do is we are going to just say import socket provider from context dash socket, and I'm going to wrap it in brackets and socket provider, and we are going to wrap this over here and format it and save it. Okay, now we have this. Okay, now we have this socket provider. Now whenever this component will start mount, this provider thing will run. This will run use effect, it will create IO connection, and it will establish our socket, and it will provide us the value, okay, inside the context. So let us quickly run this application. How can we run? It is very simple. Npm run dev next dev, and we head on to the application. We go to localhost 3000, and let us see if we get it or we get some error. Okay, so it says welcome, and now it is saying that localhost 3000 socket.io 404 not found, 404 not found. Okay, the reason being let us, if we add console.log called API. Okay, now if we refresh the page, do you think this log would be executed? No, right? Exactly. Why? Because this API has to be called explicitly. Okay, hear me out. So by default, this is an API. This is an API route. Like if I hit something like a localhost 5000 slash API slash socket, then this code is going to run. By default, this code is not going to execute on its own, right? So that is why, since this particular part, since there is no server right now, it is giving us 404 not found. This is valid error, right? This is a valid error. So how can we fix this? Okay, how can we fix this? Most of the people, what they do is they write await fetch API just above it, and then they call this connection. Okay, that is also fine, but since you are on JS Cafe, we have better ways to do things. Okay, so how exactly can you do is that once you try to establish a connection with the server, you set the connection, right? So if I just console log socket connection, okay, and I print the connection value. Oh, sorry. So see, we have got the socket object, right? We have the socket object with us. The only thing is that this is not connected, right? This is not connected. So we have the manager, we have the connection, everything, we have everything, right? But the connection was just not established, right? what if what if we hit the API again, okay, and will it work? So if I just say that we have the socket, right? We have the socket. So if I say socket, if we have socket dot on, okay, and we say connect error, okay, if there was a connection error, then we say a sync error, and I say console.log error, error establishing socket with server socket. Let it be this only, and I print my error, and all I do is I say await fetch slash API slash socket. Now we manually trigger our socket connections. Okay, now if I just reload, that error was gone, right? That error was gone, and it says socket. Now see, called API, socket already running, server is connected. See, and this server is connected where it was triggered. It was triggered over here. Okay, and I'm not sure why this is giving false, but the connection is actually true, right? Maybe some issues with logging the client or something. I don't know why is it showing false over here, but if it's true, maybe by the time it printed, it was false, but after some time it got connected, so internally it became true. Maybe, I don't know. So we have established our socket connection, and we can actually use this socket, right? How exactly can we use? We have created this context, right? Use socket with this custom hook, use socket. So we can copy this part, okay, and we are going to import use socket. Oh, use socket from context slash socket, and if I just say const socket equals to use socket, and whenever I use it, I get the socket value. So if we just go to client, and do we have any client side? Client dot on connect, right? We have this thing. Just let us quickly see if both client and the server are able to communicate with each other. So use effect, okay, and over here I print this, okay, socket dot, and B, make sure that you add question marks, okay, and this is, we can remove this, okay, and we go to our app. I refresh this and see, we got the client, right? We got the client ID, and over here it says server connected. So server is connected. So everything is working just fine. Okay. So what we done so far, let me just give you a quick recap. We set up our socket servers, which are which will be used for signaling. So we saw that first of all how we can create the APIs. Okay, creating the APIs is really very simple. It was just all boilerplate code over here. Then we create this was for the server. Okay, we dealt with socket IO package. Now we have to establish some uh, context on the client. On the client, what we did was we used many stuffs, and we saw that we first of all created context, then we created a provider, and we returned the provider from the context, okay, over here, and we provided a value after setting up in a use effect, and this was the socket connection which was established, and we rendered the children and other stuffs, and we handled a very crucial part, that is because of limitations of Next.js. We could have done it some way, okay, we could have avoided this code. How? If there is one thing called as Next.js custom servers, okay, so you can create a custom server, you can create a server.js file, and this would act as a normal node.js API, okay, this would act as a normal node.js API and node.js app, basic app, okay, express app kind of stuff. This is not exactly express, but it is kind of having a similar architecture. So you can have your application, okay, this would be the index file of your server, and we could have established our socket over here somewhere. But the only demerit is that that Vercel doesn't supports, the custom server cannot be deployed on Vercel. So that is one big catch that you have to take care of. And even in my personal projects, I avoid using custom servers because uh, is that it says something. uh, let me let me point to that. Yeah, so a custom server will remove important performance optimizations like serverless functions and automatic static optimizations. So using this is pretty harmful. That is why you should not. I personally feel that you should not use the server given Next.js has a lot of things, uh, you know, already optimized for you. Then why you should go ahead and destroy the optimization? You should not do that, right? So there was a workaround. There is always a workaround to things, to sockets, and one thing is that we cannot deploy this application to Vercel. Why? Because Vercel doesn't support sockets. Okay, yeah, they you might be shocked, right? But what once we deploy this application on Vercel, okay, Vercel doesn't support like this thing socket IO. Yeah, Vercel's socket IO support. So what they say, serverless functions on Vercel are stateless and have a maximum execution duration. As a result, it is not possible to maintain WebSocket connections to a serverless functions. Okay, then you can enable it for some reasons. While you cannot maintain a persistent connection to serverless functions, it is possible to use a third-party service called as pusher channels to enable real-time communication for apps. When you use a third-party service, it is important to keep in mind that clients should be used to subscribe to events, while all publishing should be handled by the serverless functions. All right. Okay. So we have to use, if you really wanna push, WebSockets on your Vercel app or Next.js app, you have to use third-party clients. For example, this pusher thing. Okay, pusher dot trigger. Then okay, so then we'll create, instead of setting up servers over here, we'll say pusher dot trigger instead of socket dot emit or socket dot on. We'll do this. Anyways, that is not what we need right now. Okay, that we are not going there because we are not trying to deploy our applications. We can skip this part. And are they charging? Looks like they are charging. Flexible pricings. And what is the price, dude? Okay, there is a free sandbox, then there is a startup, then there is pro, business, premium, and so okay, these guys are charging and they have a free sandbox as well. Okay, enough about that. Okay, so you know the points, right? We are not going to deploy because of limitations of Vercel. They should ideally, allow us to enable sockets. So if anyone is listening from the Vercel team, it is my humble request to enable such things, because you guys are doing absolutely great. And why to limit your dashboard with these little stuffs? So we have socket IO. We have okay. I was talking about this part, right? So over here, whenever there is a connection error, what we do was we say error establishing connection, and what we did was we did a await fetch, and this started to work fine, right? So this was the basic setup of the socket IO. So I'll just quickly head over and add everything for a commit. So git commit minus m setup project and socket socket.io. Okay, so we have made a significant progress over here. So we have the socket ready for us. Now is the time to set up a library called as PeerJs. So in the starting of the video where we have learned all about the WebRTC, this PeerJs library is kind of a package around the same functionalities, and it is kind of easy to use and implement when we want to get started with WebRTC. There is also another way where we can implement all the functionalities of WebRTCs from the scratch, but again that is a lot of work to do, because you have to deal with dealing you have to deal with the session description and everything, and you have to perform multiple back and forth signaling. So that is why I would recommend using this PeerJS library, because again it is a wrapper around the same WebRTC concepts, so it is easy to use and your concept will remain intact. And secondly, that it handles most of the redundant task automatically in the library itself, so we don't have to worry about it. um, I'll also demonstrate how those things are happening behind the scenes, like how like when we say connect, then what exactly is happening in the connect phase and whatnot. So let's get started with this PHJS library. So what this does is basically it is a browser's WebRTC implementation to provide a complete configurable and easy to use peer-to-peer connection API. Okay, the only reason we are using PeerJS is that it is a easy to use API. Okay, so it is very easy to use. So let us go ahead and start implementing it over here. So first of all, I'll say npm I PeerJS. Okay, meanwhile this is getting installed, we can create again a context for us. Okay, over here use peer and other stuffs. I think we would need a custom hook, right? So we can, instead of going to context, I can create a new folder called as hooks. Okay, and I'll create a new file called as use peer.js. Okay, and over here we are going to implement our PeerJS library. So let us start setting up our connection. So you can see that when we want to create a peer, it is something like var peer equals to new peer, and then the connection is open. We can run these things. Whenever we receive a connection, we run these things. Then we can perform call. Okay, so call in the sense, right? I am already in a room, and when someone joins, I'll say, I'll call that user, and the another user 2 would get a call, so he has to answer it. Okay, once he answers the call, I can send on to the streams. Okay, we will get on this part in detail when we start implementing the calling functionalities. Okay, but right now our task is to implement the peer library in our systems. So let's start with creating a hook. So use peer. Okay, and we have to first of all deal with sockets also, but let us skip that for now. And I'll create a state for my peer. So const peer, set peer, use state. Initially there is no peer, so it is false. Okay, and we also need one state for storing our peer id. So whenever we connect to a peer server, the peer server gives us a unique user id that we have to keep a track of it. So whenever I log on to the peer server, I would receive id. So I would store that id inside a variable, reactive variable called as my id. And initially there is no my id, so it is all empty. Now we will use a use effect, and inside this use effect will deal with our peer library. Okay, let us just save it for now and start running this npm run dev. We head on to the localhost 3000. Okay, and I wanted to show you one interesting thing about this Next.js and PeerJs thing. Okay, whenever you are dealing with some libraries that are heavily dependent on the client, what happens is that Next.js tries to render most of the part, okay, most of the part on the server itself. Okay, and when it tries to render something on server, there is no browser environment. Okay, and since there is no browser requirements, and imagine some package trying to access the window object, the browser, the navigator, or any other web api. So since on the terminal, on the browser, there is no browser api, the package would tend to crash. Okay, some packages are ideally not built for Next.js, but since Next.js internally uses React, we can somehow tweak that way to use the packages. I'll tell you what I am talking about. I know this might sound hard or not make sense right now, but if I just import my PeerJS library, okay, so 1 second. So this is PeerJS, right? So if I head on and I say import peer from PeerJS, okay, the moment I save this and I run, since I'm not consuming this hook anywhere, so let me just quickly go ahead and consume this hook. Export default, use peer. Okay, and let us just consume this in our pages app, not index. Okay, in the index. So this is use socket, import, use, this is default import, right? Use peer. The moment I use this, the application crashed and it says navigator not defined. Okay, so navigator, if you search navigator mdn, so navigator is a web api. Navigator interface represents the state of an India user agent. Okay, we basically detect whether it is Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, Safari, or whatnot. Okay, the user agent. But since Next.js, what did it was trying to it was trying to compile my PeerJS library on the server, and on the server there is no navigator. So this application crashed. So does this mean that we can't use PeerJS library in Next.js, given that Next.js is the latest tech stack we have in the market? No, right? This would have been a major drawback, and nobody would have used PeerJS. So what is the way around this thing? How can we deal this? How can we deal with this? Okay, it's really very simple, right? It is really very simple. Import instead of using this instead of importing PeerJS over here. Okay, all you have to do is you have to move this inside a use effect. Simple that. But you'll say, Vedant, how can we import a package inside a effect? I'll show you how we can do this. But the thing is that uh, all these imports and all, these are getting computed on the server. But once we move that import inside a use effect, now this is going to run on the client. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show. Again, this would crash if you try to make a server side page out of it, but we are not doing that. We are only a CSR model right now inside this application, but the package was okay, computed on the servers. That is a good note to take. I hope you have your pen and book ready. Okay, please do keep it handy whenever you watch my videos. All right, so instead of doing this, what I'm supposed to do is that I'll say that I'll first of all create a immediately invoked function. Okay, and that would be a async function. So this would be a async, async, and I say function init peer. Okay, and inside this async function, I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say const my peer equals to await, and then okay, it has to be a new. Okay, sorry for that. This is just the way to import packages in use effect. So first of all, I added new. Why? Because whenever we want to access, whenever we want to get a peer, we add a new. Okay, now this part is coming from the imported library. Okay, this peer class, where would you get this peer class? You will get from library. So now after new thing, we have to get the class somehow. So I'll say await import PeerJs. Okay, this would get me the library, and whatever was the default export from that, I'll get that. Okay, this is how we do. So this is exactly same as doing this thing. Okay, this class came from this included library, and since we are not using CDN, so in the ES module, how we can do is we can use await import PeerJs dot default. Why default? Because whatever was the default export from this import, I want to use that. Okay, and I want to execute it. Okay, that is it. See, we are executing this class, right? This is how we execute the constructor of a class. So this is we ex, sorry uh, we ran this particular class like this. Okay, this would give me the default exported class, and I called the constructor over here. All right, so this was a good tricky part for you to learn. Most of the people don't know about it, but you know now, right? You are a step ahead. Great. So once I have my peer, all I have to do is oops all I have to do is set my peer. Okay, and when I have uh yep, okay, so I have got my peer. Now I want to get my ID. So this is how we do. Basically, I'll say my peer dot on. Okay, how's the documentation saying? Peer dot on connection, you get the connection, right? You get the connection, and you can get the ID, connection dot ID, like this. Okay, so this is exactly what we are going to do. So instead of going through connection, we have to use open. Okay, we have to use open. So my peer dot, we already get, right, we are already getting suggestions. My peer dot on open, I am going to get the ID, and once I get the ID, I can say, first of all, let's add beautiful logs in the console so that we can keep a track of what is happening in the application. You can completely ignore this part, console, adding consoles and everything. But for the sake of explanation and keeping track of order of events, I am adding these consoles. Okay, you can feel free to get rid of these consoles. So in this part, I'll say your peer ID is ID. Okay, this is my peer ID, and I'll say set my ID as ID. Okay, we have done this thing, and there's one more thing, that in order to avoid you know, creating multiple peers, okay, there is a chance that this hook can run many times. I'll show you how. First of all, we have to start our PeerJs server. Now, what is this PeerJs server? So basically, PeerJs is kind of, intermediate server, okay, where that handles all the WebRTC calls and requests. Okay, so in order for PeerJs to generate ID and able to know how many, clients are connected to that particular peer, we have to run one server. Okay, and how exactly can we run that server? We have a command. Where is it? mm, if you don't want to run your own peer server, we offer a free hosted cloud version official peer server. um mm, 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 mm. I don't exactly remember where was that command. mm, 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 mm. You can visit this thing. This is a good you know good example of all the functionalities over here. mm. Okay, I think I don't exactly remember where was it, but the command was pretty very simple. Let me recheck this. Yeah, here it is. PeerJs port 3001. This is all you have to run, and it will start the PeerJs server on port 3001. Okay, now we have this server running. All we have to do is, once we have this, and let us save and head over to our application, and this should work, right? And if you check console, hmm, so we have this thing. Server is connected. Started server on over here, and this thing didn't run. Why? Because, okay, we didn't called the use peer thing. Okay, so maybe I can just call this use peer over here like this. So over here you can see that we have got two peer IDs, right? The code was executed twice. This is not what we want. And if you check the server, this is running fine. Server is connected and everything, but I really don't want two peer connections. This is happening why? Because it is a dev server, and if strict mode is there, then it runs affects, like it runs cleanup and then whatnot, right? So in order to fix that, what we can do is, as a developer, I can just say const is peer set, is peer set equals to use ref, and I'll say it is false. Okay, the peer was not set. The moment I execute this use effect, this is going to immediately set my peer. So I'll say if peer set dot current, then please return. Otherwise, is peer set dot current equals to true. Okay, If we save this and I run this, it is going to run the peer file exactly once. Okay, and I got my peer ID. This is fantastic. Okay, now coming back to this part, we have got peer my ID. We also need to export these things. So I'll just say return return peer my id. Okay, I am returning these two things from my server, and inside the index.js file over here, we ideally don't need these sockets and everything over here. We need them inside a room. So if you have checked the demonstration which I showed in the beginning, we have a room where we can enter the room id, we can join a room and whatnot, and after that our peer connections get established. Right now, the moment the user lands on this page, we are establishing the socket connection, we are establishing the peer and whatnot. This is ideally not what we want. So we'll head over to the pages. Okay, and I'll create a file, new file, and I'll call this as room id.js. Okay, so this room id can be any dynamic value, uh, kind of query param of the url. Since we are using file based routing, so if you use square brackets and whatever you type, this becomes your query param automatically. So we'll head over to room.js once, and I'll create my files. I'll say const room equals to a page. Okay, this is my page, and whatever stuff we did over here, I'm gonna copy paste it. We can get rid of connections and everything. I ideally don't think we need uh yeah, we don't need sockets and other stuffs over here. So use socket can come over here, and we can get rid of this. We can get rid of socket over here. Okay, we have already cleared that, and we also don't need socket dot on connect, right? This was just for demonstration purpose. So we can get rid of this. And do we need a use effect or use state? No, we don't. We need these guys inside a room. Okay, so we have this thing, and all right, so we have got the socket, we have got the peer, and inside the peer I am getting my peer and a peer and my id. So let me copy this and let me create a const. We are extracting these guys, and like this, let me just format the document, and we are good. And let's just do export default room. Okay, we have got these guys. Now our priority over here is that we have got the peer connections, we have got the room, we have got the index. In the next part, we'll try to first of all set up our home landing page, and then we'll start working on the main part, that is the room id. All right, so see you in the next part. All right, so now we'll start working on our the main page where we can create room or we can enter or join a room. So first of all, we'll head over to our terminal and we'll set up our preprocessor. So if you go to Tailwind using preprocessors documentation over here, since we do a lot of nesting in the CSS, so ideally we need this package. And in the previous project video where we were building the online drawing tool, most of the people were facing issues because they were not they didn't installed this post CSS nesting package. Okay, so this package is really very important, so you make sure to get it installed over here as a dev dependency. And let us this is all you need, and once this is installed, you can copy this part and keep it at the top of your post css config. So post css config is over here, and let we can keep this as top and save this. This is all what we need. Hello, aspiring front-end developers. Ready to master front-end development, elevate your coding skills, and secure your dream job? I have a fantastic news for you. In today's dynamic web development world, staying ahead is crucial. You have aced the basics of JavaScript and React, but front end interviews can still be daunting. But not anymore. Welcome to JS Yatra, your complete front end interview guide. It's your mentor, your secret weapon to conquer front end interviews. JS Yatra covers four pillars: JavaScript coding, machine coding, system design, and DSA in JavaScript. It's immersive, interactive, and challenges you like real interviews. Today, grab the complete front-end package for just $7.99. Unlock your 2025 LP opportunities. Enroll using the link below. By joining JS Yatra, you invest in your future and support orphan children. Let's make a positive impact together. Remember, you'll find a registration link in the video description, so be sure to check it out for a brighter future. Now, let's get back to the video. And now coming back to our index file, I'll keep it over here so that we don't get distracted. Okay, we can mark it as pinned. And over here, we have this thing home button. And what we have to do is, first of all, we'll have to import use router from React navigation, and we also need to import UUID as well. We have not installed UUID over here, so we need to install this as well. So one second. So npm I UUID, this package is also needed. So we have imported our UUID like v4 as UUID v4, and then we have imported our next navigation, and we have imported the use router from over here. What we have to do is we have to first of all instantiate the router. Const router equals to use router. This is going to give us the router variable. Okay, and then what we have to do is we'll create a button. So whenever we want to create any room, so I'll say create and join. What ideally we have to do is I'll say const room id equals to, it would we have to generate a random room id for us, right? UUID v4, this is going to create some random id. All we have to do is I'll have to say router dot push and slash room id. Okay, this would take the user to their room ids. And over here, let us first create a good looking UI. This is looking ugly, right? So we can create a div, and we have div. Okay, this is our main parent, and then we have a h1 saying Google Meet clone over here. And then again we have a div. This div would contain first of all our input text input text, and then a button. In this button we can say join room. He has to enter the room id over here. And after this div we have a good span, and let me copy the separator. Let me get the separator over here. Okay, so in this span we have or, and then again a button which says create room, create a new room. Okay, r has to be small. Okay, so let us save this and see if we are able to see something. Okay, we are able to see something, but it is not styled. Yeah, this is not styled. So I'll head over what is the style I'm using. So styles home.module.css. So I'll create one file and I'll name this as home.module.css. And many of you might say that what's the use of creating CSS files when you already have Tailwind, right? See, I do. It is my personal choice. Okay, I really do not want to pollute my JSX because JSX is already polluted very much when once we add on click handlers and other stuffs, conditional rendering, ternary operators, and whatnot. And on top of that, if you have all your styles inside the JSX only, it gets so ugly that you can't even imagine. That is why I prefer to keep my styles inside the CSS file using the apply operator. Okay. Yeah, there is one drawback that I am okay to take, that the bundle size is going to increase a little bit because like the only purpose of Tailwind was to reuse the classes, right? Tailwind has their classes and you can reuse those classes in your as an inline class. Okay, but if you use a apply, okay, those who have watched the previous video of the online drawing tool, we have heavily used apply operator, okay, over there. So that thing, what it does is it create multiple copies of the same class. So if I say at the rate apply text center, now it is going to copy the text center class from the main package, and it is going to create a copy of it. Okay, and this is the reason why Tailwind doesn't wants us to use Tailwind classes inside CSS files. Instead, use them in like as a inside the JSX. But since it is a small project, then it is not going to affect that much. But if you have very complex, very large project where you have lots and lots of CSS files, then in that case, it is going to take a hit. Okay, I'm not sure how much the size is going to increase, but anyways, if someone asks why you are using styles inside a model the CSS, you'll say it's the personal choice and you know the pros and cons. That is the important thing. Okay, if you know what is the cost you are taking to take a hit on, it is completely fine. Okay, yeah. So that is the thing I wanted you all to know. And home.module.css, we have many things. And okay, we need to set colors, right? I forgot to set colors. Let me just grab my color palette and we'll be good to go. Yeah, so if you know what I just did, so we have this Tailwind Colvin find where you can define your own theme. Okay, it is important to use extend because if you don't, then all of the inbuilt colors and features and other stuffs are going to get lost, and you will have only the ecosystem you provide. When you use extend, you extend that theme with these many properties. So if I say that what kind of background image I can support, this is the background image I want to support. What are the colors you want to support? These are the colors that I am going to support in my application. Okay, so these are all the basic colors you can, like, I don't know, there's nothing to do over here, right? This is nothing. Anyways, so coming back, these are the colors that I wanted to use, and inside my home.css files I am using a lot of stuff. So let me check once. Yeah, so we are using a lot of styles. So uh, let me just grab the CSS, right? I don't want to spend time writing CSS. Okay, so we have home container, which is this. We have h1, we have a button, we are having enter room and a separator. Okay, basic CSS, right? These things require no discussion. You guys are already mature enough to understand what's happening, and all you have to do is I have to import my styles. Import styles from at the rate slash styles slash home.module.css, and my home container is going to be this is my home container. This is a h1. This is a enter room container because we are entering over here. Then we have a separator, so I'll add some separator classes over here, and we have a button, right? Now let me save this. And what it is saying, maybe we need to restart the server. Okay, h1 is not per, yeah, we need to restart, I think. Yep. Why did we need a restart? Can someone answer if you guys know? Let me save this also, right? Why did we needed a restart? Because we actually changed the config files, right? CSS nesting. So whenever you change next config, whenever you change this post CSS config, okay, you have to restart the server. Not the case with tailwind config, okay, because we didn't require any restart over here. But post CSS and next config is something whenever you make change, you have to restart. Okay, that is a unsaid rule. So we have got a nice UI, okay, over here, and all we have to do is we have to create and join, right? So I'll have to say on click, create and join, and over here we are going to need a placeholder. So I'll say placeholder, enter room ID, then the value, and then on change. Okay, so we'll need a state. So I'll say const room ID, set room ID, use state. There is no room ID right now, and we get on change. So I'll say event set room ID, event dot, this is optional chaining, right? Event dot target dot value, and value is saying okay, you need some value. Yeah, I know, I need some values. So we have got this. Okay, we can type and it is working. And once I hit join room, so I'll have to create a function. Const join room is a function. This function we are going to perform on the click of this button, and I'll say that if if there is room ID, then router dot push room ID. Okay, else I am going to say that alert, please provide a valid room ID. Okay, because I really don't want someone saying joining empty, right? This is a basic security check. When I say create new, it is going to take me a new URL, and I got my peer automatically. See? Okay. So this is the really interesting stuff we did just now. Okay. So now we have created our nice looking page. We can create a room. Okay. We can get a peer ID. Okay. These things are working really fine. Now, as the next part, we'll deal heavily inside my room ID page actually. All right. So, all right. So this was on all in this module. See you in the next one. All right. So in the previous module, we made a significant progress in our application, and in this module, we are going to work heavily inside the room ID page, which is our meetings room. Okay, where we get to see other users who has joined the calls and everything. So to make as a starting point, what we want is that whenever I join the room, I should get a prompt to where the browser is requesting access for my mic, for my camera, and post that when I accept it, I should be able to see myself on the screen. Okay, this is what is the basic requirement. So first of all, what I'll do is, first of all, we'll create one hook. I'll call this as use media stream .js. Okay, this is the media stream. The aim of this hook is to, like, whenever this is instantiated, it would request access for your camera and your audio, and it would set up the stream inside a reactive variable. And once that is done, we can consume that stream and render it in a player. Okay, so it is going to be interesting part right now. So what we'll do is, I'll say const use media stream equals to, this is a, and what is it taking? It is nothing, it isn't taking anything else. So first of all, I'll create one reactive variable to store our stream. So I'll call this as a state maybe. Why we are calling it as a state and not a stream, you'll see that as we progress inside this custom hook. So I'll just call it as a state and set state, use state. Okay, initially there is no stream, so it has to be null. And over here I'll have a use effect, and inside this use effect again, we'll do the rituals that we do. We'll first of all create a async function. I'll call this as async function init stream. Okay, and we'll get access to our stream from where? From the navigator. Okay, we encountered navigator twice. Okay, this is the second time we are accessing navigator. So I'll say await navigator dot media devices dot get this get user media, and I'll say audio as get audio, get video. Okay, I got uh two stuffs, and I'll just add a log saying console.log setting stream, setting your stream. Okay, and then set state stream. Okay, so you saw that over here I created a same variable stream, right? So that to avoid confusion, just I have added it as a state. When we'll export this variable, I'll just rename it. Okay, nothing fancy. And there are chances that this request can be errorsome. So I'll just wrap this thing inside a try catch statement just to be on the safer side. Console.log uh, error in media navigator, and I'll just log my console. And what are we seeing? This is not I expected. Okay, and you can get rid of this. All right, so this is our basic media stream. Let me also just export default, use media stream. And I know you might be aware, okay, what is this thing? I'll get on to this part. Okay, but before that, I really don't want this stream to be set twice. So to fix that, we are doing our hacky way. Okay, so const is stream set equals to use ref false the moment. So if stream set dot current, then please return, my friend. Otherwise, stream set dot current equals to true, and that's it. And we have to export, right? We have to export over here. This is our effect, and this is what we'll be returning. So I'll be returning state. We'll call this as a stream. Okay, this is a stream. We save this. Uh, did I? Oh, I think this has to be over here. Okay, export stream as a state. Yeah, this is cool. And why is it require, man? Okay, import. Okay, So we have got our stream. Now if I just use this hook, import use media stream, and we can say const stream equals to use media stream. Okay, and I just return some JSX, right? We forgot returning JSX and some random stuff over here. Okay, so if I refresh, so you can see that this recording stuff came, right? But it didn't ask for the permissions because I have already given the permission. So if I go to incognito and I say localhost 3000 and I say create new room, now it is asking for the permissions. So if I click allow, see it has started taking the stream. But why we are not able to render anything? Because we are not consuming that stream in a player or something. So our task is to render that stream. Setting your stream is done. See, setting your stream, but I need to render that stream somewhere. So to use that, we have a beautiful library called as a React player. Okay, we are going to use this React player. It is really awesome library. So npm I React player, and we'll go to this website to check the documentation. So import React player from React player, and this. If you pass the URL, this can be either a URL or the stream. Okay, so this is exactly what we need. So to consume this, I'll first of all create a wrapper around it. Okay, so I'll minimize everything. I'll then go to components. So we don't have a components component. Okay, I'll create one component and I'll call this as player. This has to be a folder, a player folder, then index.js file, then index.module.css file. Now inside this player, I'll import React player. Okay, this is my React player, and let me add this over here. So we are going to create the player. Const player equals to a component. This component is going to take some props. Okay, and we are going to return the player. Okay, just a div. Okay, we need a div to manage the wrapper and other stuffs. Okay, but right now we can just render the React player, and it needs some properties. Okay, so I'll destructure the props, and I need a player ID to, since there can be multiple users, so we have to pass a key to every element so that React can uniquely identify that player. Okay, player ID. Then we have URL. This can be a stream. Do we need to mute this or not? And is this playing or not? And okay, that is all we need for now. Okay, then I'll just say key equals to player ID, then URL is going to be a URL, muted equals to be muted, and playing is going to be equal to playing. Then we have a player, export default player. Okay, and let us just consume this player. So this is our component, so we can import player from slash component player, and instead of this I am going to render my player, and I will say that My URL would be my stream muted muted, let it be true. Okay, we can write it like this: playing. Okay, and player ID. Okay, what is the player ID? Let it be our my ID for now. Okay, now if I head over to my application, you can clearly see that my stream is coming perfectly over here. Okay, and there is no lag or something happening. So this was basic setup of the use media stream and integrating the players. Now moving forward, we'll have to make sure that there can be multiple players in the scenarios. Okay, this is just one player right now. There can be many players in our ecosystem. One player is guaranteed, that is going to be your player, my ID player. Okay, then there can be other players that are sending streams. Okay, via socket connections and other stuffs. So right now this is I think pretty much fine. Okay, this is pretty much fine for this particular module. In the next module, what we'll do is we'll try to create an array of players, and we are going to render them conditionally based on the incoming streams from the other users. Okay, so yeah, see you in the next one. All right. So far we have made a significant progress in the project, and in this particular module we are going to do the really exciting stuff, that is to perform signaling. So on the servers we have the PeerJs server running, and the application is already running. And if we check the Chrome, so I have two clients over here running the Google Meet clone application, and we can see the logs that socket connection is running. But the problem here is that in order for them to exchange their video stream, audio stream, or for them to enable calling, they have to know about each other. Okay, if you remember the starting verse of the video where I have explained WebRTC, I told you that each of the clients understand or get to know about each other when they exchange their session description via signaling, right? So that is what we are going to do in this particular module. Right now this client doesn't know who is this, and this doesn't know who is this. Okay, somehow via WebSockets we need to establish a connection, kind of a agreement between client 1 and client 2, that hey, okay, client 1, when client 1 creates a new room, okay, so it should ideally let him see his video and other stuffs. And when client 2 also joins that room, then they should initiate a handshake. Not exactly this is a handshake, this is a session description exchange and whatnot, but in a summarized layman terms, this is kind of a handshake between client 1 and client 2. So that is what we are going to do, and we are going to now write our socket APIs, which we haven't written so far. We have just set up it, right? So now is the time to do that. And inside the room, so we are going to deal with room ID and socket API and PeerJS, I think, yeah, and peer library as well. Okay. So what is that? So over here, whenever a peer is connected, then this should be the ideal place where we tell other clients that hey, I have joined. Okay, like what is this peer, right? This use peer hooks get called whenever we join a room, right? So whenever I join a room, whenever someone else joins a room or whatsoever, so this should be the trigger point where I tell others that hey, I have joined a room, and others also have to listen. Okay, this person joined a room. Okay, then once both of them get aware of each other, then I can initiate a call. okay, I can initiate a call from my side. Okay, let's say I am client 1 and client 2 joins my room. Okay, so what I'll do is, once I get to know, okay, someone joined, I'll initiate a call from my side. I am client 1, and they client 2 has to accept that call. Okay, now in return, after accepting the call, the client 2 will return a stream to me. Okay, what is a stream? Stream is like their video, right? Audio video. So that is what they are going to return to me. Okay, and the moment I receive that stream, I'll make sure that I'll render that stream on my screen. That is the holistic view that we are going to achieve in this particular module, and this is the most crucial part as well. All right, so let's get started. And first of all, over here, do I have socket? No, I don't have socket. So what we have to do is, first of all, I have to import socket. So over here, const socket equals to use socket. This would give me the socket connection. And the moment, okay, the moment I have my connection, okay, so this was over here, right? The moment I open the connection with PeerJs server, okay, this is the server that is already running. Okay, make sure you, whenever you are dealing in this project, you always have the server running. And yeah, one more thing, you might be thinking that where is this server getting installed? So you have to install PeerJs globally on your servers. Okay, I think I missed telling you this part, and many of you might be feeling that okay, this is not running. Just globally install PeerJs on your server, okay, on your system, like npm I -g PeerJs, and this should work. Okay, I since I already had it running, so I kind of missed calling this out. So over here you have this PeerJs thing running. Over here we have the server running, and when I open a connection with my PeerJs server, this is the good place where I can emit saying that I joined a room. Okay, this is the place. So I can say something like socket question mark. Okay, question mark is what, optional chaining dot emit. Okay, I can say join room. And what are the things that I can say? I can send my room ID. Okay, do I have the room ID over here? No, right? I don't have the room ID, so I need to get the room ID as well. So I can do something like const room ID equals to use router dot query dot room ID. Okay, this is going to give me the room ID. All right, so I can call this. I can send my room ID. Okay, so this is like saying I joined a room, and this is the room ID, and who am I? Okay, the obviously the other person has to know, like, na, who are you? So I can send my peer ID, right? This is my peer ID. So I send it over here, and over here we have already added some cases like is peer set dot current, and we also have to make sure that we do bypass some edge cases, right? So let me just update the dependency once. So you can see that I have a room socket, room ID and socket. So I first of all, okay, so first of all I have to make sure that if there is no room ID, right? If not room ID, then also return, don't do anything. And if there is no socket, since we have started emitting, right? So if there is no socket in the system, then please do return as well. And what else? I think these are all the things we need. Okay, so we have emitted a join room event, room ID and ID, and this should work over here. Now let's just quickly head over to our socket API and listen for this particular event. Okay, let me just copy this. Okay, and come over here, and I say socket.emit. Instead of emit, I'll just say on. Okay, so I am listening for on join room event. Okay, and I can get a callback function. So this is the room ID and the ID. Now once I have to say that, I can, like, just for you know, readability purpose, I'll say a new user with ID. Okay. Instead of ID, can we say, can we give a better name as user ID? Okay. So socket on join room ID user ID. I'll say a new user with user ID join room ID. Okay. Now now what I'll say that since I joined a particular room, there might be a chance that in that room there can be many people already. Like, okay, since we are not following the SFU architecture, we are having the mesh topology. Let's just handle that case. Okay, even if there are three people, that is going to obviously lag because we will see that. But even though there are people, we have to make sure that if the moment I join, I should send a broadcast message to all the people in that room. Does that make sense? Right, that makes sense. So if we want to send events to particular room, okay, to a particular room, we can obviously let the socket join a room and emit it. Okay, how does that works, I'll tell you. So I'll say something like socket dot join room ID. Okay. Now once my socket connection joined a room ID, what I have to do is simply just say socket dot broadcast. What is a broadcast? Broadcast is a thing where we emit messages to every other clients except for me. Okay, so if I am the originator of the message, I'll emit a broadcast message to everyone except me. Like, consider a radio. So radio, they broadcast a song. Okay, so they broadcast to everyone who has subscribed to their radio frequency. They do not subscribe to themselves. Okay, they do not broadcast a radio song to themselves, because why would they? Okay, they already have the source. So something like that. Okay, so I broadcast my message to every other client present in a room ID. So the broadcast is like, I send events, but don't send back to me. Okay, so that is what is broadcast. And where do I have to broadcast it? I have to broadcast it to a room ID. So I am broadcasting to a room ID. And what is the event I am going to emit? I am going to emit is user connected. And which user connected? User ID. Okay, that is it. Let me just save it. And where exactly are we going to listen for this event on the client? Okay, let me grab this event name. We head over to the room ID, and where exactly are we going to do that? All right, we need a hook. Hmm. So over here exactly. So we have the socket, right? We have the room ID. Now once I am in a room, okay, my use effect is gonna run, and we are going to create an event listener that is going to listen for users who are joining the room. Okay, it will listen for the user connected event. So why this is the best place? Again, I do not want to like just write the code in front of you and you don't understand anything. I don't want that. Okay, I basically want that you all guys understand what you are writing. Okay, likewise we did in the React Yatra video. You guys have given a like loads of love to that video. It has crossed around 30k views and 2k likes. So really thank you for that. And I am just trying to deliver my best. So hope you guys are liking this. So I am creating longer videos, and that is why it is taking time. So I hope you guys understand it, but the quality of videos are definitely top notch. All right. So coming back to the project, okay, let's not get diverted. So we have created a use effect. So whenever I join a room, this use effect is going to make sure that when someone else joins a room, I do something. Okay, I do something. What we do, as I've told before, we make a call, he answers it, and he sends the stream back. We get the stream and we render it on a player. That is the prime plan that I have. We are going to execute. So first of all, we have a use effect over here, and let me just create an empty array. This is going to be mount. Uh, yeah, I've said mount, but there is no concept of life cycles because it is all hooks. So I am going to just say socket question mark, or maybe yeah, I think we can add question mark, or we can just skip it. Socket dot on. Okay, user connected. We are going to call a function. Okay, the function is going to be const handle user connected, and this is going to take what? So we are sending the user ID, right, who is going to join the room. So we have the new user over here. So we have a new user. Okay, and obviously we want to turn off, right, the listeners. So we pass handle user connected and this as well, and we updated the sockets. All right, so whenever someone joins our room, I console.log user connected in room with user ID, and I forgot to use this. Okay, and we are going to write new user. Okay, and then we are going to do some things. All right, this is what we have done. Let me just restart the server just in case no caching is there. I refresh, and I missed one thing. Like, although we have emitted optional chaining, right? So I should have some checks over here. So if not socket, then just return. Okay, don't do anything. Anyways, so let us just refresh these guys. Okay, so we have socket connections and it is connected. Anyways, so we can clear the logs. I created a new room. I joined. I allowed him. I can see myself, and this is like your peer ID, setting your stream, blah blah blah. And let me just copy the room ID and let me join from another browser. So the moment I create join room, oh, you see that, right? A log was created where it was saying that user connected in room with user ID this. So this was my, see, this is my peer ID. Okay, client to peer ID. And over here, whenever I join, I the original person, the first person who joined the room got a notification that someone joined a room. Okay, see, we have a basic signaling getting started. So right now, both the clients are aware that someone joined. Now they have to perform a handshake. And how exactly is this happening right now? So let me get you. Whenever you establish your peer, okay, you get your ID and you broadcast to everyone that, hey, this is my peer ID, I have joined this particular room. Now in the API there is a listener which says, okay, when someone joins a room, okay, you entered a room, now socket will subscribe, will join that room, and it would broadcast a message to everyone. Okay, it would broadcast a message to everyone who joined that room. Okay, so this is what basic stuff we are doing. And over here, so we have this thing. Now let us get back. Yeah, all right. So we have basic stuff over here. Now, do you think is the right time to call someone? Yeah. So the moment I got to know someone joined, it is my duty to call them so that they can answer my call, right? Really very simple. So I'll say that const call equals to peer dot call. Who should I call? I should call the new user. Okay. And whenever I am calling them, I will send my stream. Okay, so when I call someone, I also am sending my stream. Okay, so where's my stream, right? This is my stream. So I would send my stream to these guys who have joined. Now what we have to do is, yeah, let me just update the dependency. So peer socket stream. So if not socket or not peer or not stream or not stream. So just return. Okay. I initiated a call. Now I also should have a mechanism to listen for this call. Okay. How exactly can we listen is over here maybe 1 second. Hmm. So I'll just create one hook over here. So this is effect, and over here I'll say that if not peer, okay, the usual stuff we do, just return, and I'll say oh, peer dot on peer dot on call. Okay, when someone calls me, okay, when someone calls me, I get their stream, okay, because that is what they are sending. Okay. Uh, 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 yep. Okay. So whenever I get a call, so I get the call object. I will also get the stream. I'll tell you where exactly we'll get. We get it inside the call. Okay. So I have the call, and I can answer this call. I can answer this call by saying that call dot answer, call dot answer, and I send my stream to them. And I also um, wait for their stream. Okay. So remember, whenever I am calling someone, I am sending my stream. Okay. Now the other user receives a call, they answer the call, and they send back their stream. Okay. Now, since I was sending my stream over here, the other user should have a event where they can listen for the incoming stream from a call. So we have this thing call dot on stream. Okay. So this particular call was having a stream, right? This particular call, which was an incoming call, it was having a stream. And how can we access it? We access it like this: call dot on stream, and we have a incoming stream. Okay, this was the incoming stream. Now I'll just log console dot log incoming stream from someone. Okay, incoming stream from someone, and we don't know, right? We don't know that user. So we need to get the caller ID as well. Okay. So how exactly can we know who is the caller? So we have this call object over here. So from this call, I can extract peer. Okay. And I would rename it as a caller ID. Okay. Caller ID, because peer, we already have a variable named as peer, so it would be kind of messed up. So I just renamed it to caller ID, and I'll destructure my call object. Okay. So this was an incoming stream from this guy, and let us just quickly update the dependencies. So we have peer and stream. So if not peer or not stream, just return. So if we save this, and let us just quickly uh, get off this call. Okay, refresh. Okay, a press connection. So I create a room, I joined it, and over here nothing happening. Okay, just a simple stream thing. The moment i the moment i join the room, just think of what actions are going to happen. So I'll say join room, and see, I got a incoming stream from this guy. Okay. That's me, obviously. But so I joined this room, and this is a peer id, this is a peer id of this client, and this is over here, this is the peer id of this client, and the joiner has an incoming stream. Okay, so I am getting the live data from here over here, okay, from here to here now. But this client 2 is not sending data to client 1, although it is sending, but client 1 doesn't has a mechanism to receive the streams. Okay, so what did we miss? We miss a few things over here. Yep. So remember, when we called someone, we didn't really made use of this call object. So over here, I'll just have to say call, same thing. Like, see, call dot on stream, same thing. Okay, same thing we have to do. Call dot on stream. Okay, we get the stream. Then we have a incoming stream, and yeah. So we have the incoming stream, and from here, I'll say console dot log. Same thing, right? Same thing. I can just console it out. Okay, incoming stream from new user. Okay, that is it. Now what we have to do is we have to get back to lobby, and let me clear this. So I create a new. This is my peer ID, and I copy the room ID. I join the same room. Look, so right now this is my peer ID. So this client one, uh, okay, sorry, the opposite. So this is my peer ID. I joined his room. So EA17. So user connected with user ID EA17 blah blah blah. And now both of these guys are sharing their stream. See, incoming stream from 9B and incoming stream from EA. Okay. Now both of them has successfully managed to exchange their session description, and all of these was handled and packaged by PeerJs. Okay, that is why this whole mechanism seemed so easy. And if we would have taken the other way around, like using the client APIs all itself, then this would have been a hell. Okay, trust me, because it would be many rounds. Okay, once you finalize even the session description, we need to again perform the same action again. Okay, it happens twice, so it is really very messy. But this package PeerJs did a lot of stuff for us, and it is really very easy. Okay, so we got the incoming stream. Now what do you think is missing? Okay, the only thing missing over here is that even though these guys are sharing their streams, but I am not able to render. Okay, nothing is being rendered on the screen. Okay, that is what is missing. So let's go ahead and implement something where we can render like streams of other players as well. Not players, stream of other users. So if we get back over here, we have players, right? Use player. We need to create a hook. Use player. Hmm. All right. So I'll just create one hook for you, which is a use player. Okay. We need a centralized system for it, right? So use player.js, and let me just quickly create. Yep. So this is the place where we are going to deal with a lot of things. So right now, uh, this state, right? So right now, this particular use player is containing the array of all the players. Okay, what is a player? So this, you remember, we have a React player where when we pass the stream, it automatically renders, okay, that particular stream. So when we say when we have two guests in the room, so one is my stream, one is the incoming stream. So my players would be an array of two items containing these two streams. Okay, simple as that. So that is what it is doing. And why did we then created a hook for it? Because trust me, when we'll include functionalities like when we are leaving a room, when we are joining a room, when we are toggling a video, okay, and many other stuffs, at that moment it becomes really very handy to have a particular hook. And otherwise this particular page, right, room id, it will get a lot messy. Okay, that is why I have created this use player hook, just to maintain a cleanable, just to maintain code and make it look clean. So that is what this person is doing, this hook is doing. Okay, right now it looks silly to even have a hook, but since I have already made this project, I know what things are coming. Okay, and that is why it makes a good sense to have this logics inside the use player only. All right, so I'll just quickly return um, players and set players. Okay, and export default use player. That is it. And let me just quickly import use player. So import use player will extract player set player from use player hook. All right. So we have the hook ready, and also let us just create a component for the player, right? This player right now, we already have a player, right? All right. So we already have a player. We have the muted and every other stuff. All right. This makes sense. So, yeah. So once we have any incoming streams, all I have to do is I'll just have to push, the push into the player. So over here, one second. All right. So instead of doing things like this, okay, we don't need to do things like this. First of all, when we join a room, I wanna set my players. Okay, I wanna set my stream into the player's reactive variable so that I can consume them here. Okay, that is what is the main idea. So I'll just quickly head over and create a effect. Okay, and over here, if there is no stream, please return. Okay, and I have to say that whenever this hook will done, I'll say console.log setting my stream. Okay, and what is my id? Okay, my id, my id. And what do you think is going to be the syntax of the object that we are going to place inside the player's reactive variable? Okay, so let me quickly give you a brief on how it is going to look. Okay, so set players. This player is going to be an array, obviously. Uh, is it going to be? No, this is going to be an object, right? This is going to be an object. So we just have to wrap this. Since we want to return an object, if I just wrap it inside brackets like this, we are returning object. And what exactly are we returning? We want to uh, whatever was the previous object that stays there, then we create an object with key as a my id. So this is going to uniquely identify players. Okay, so if it is a player streaming my video, so the id of the player would be my peer id. If a player is playing a stream of client 2 who joined a room, then the player id would be his peer id. Okay, so this is my id. Where is this my id coming from use peer. Okay, so over here I set it. Now what are the various things that are going to be present? First of all, the url is going to be my stream. Is it muted? uh, it is not muted, so it is false. Doesn't has to be muted by default. Then if it is playing, then it has to be true, and that is it. Okay, I have set my players. And over here, right, so this is my player. Now I have to say that now I have to use it at 3 more places, right? So over here, okay, let's talk about over here what is going to happen. So whenever someone joins a room, we will get their stream. So when I get their stream, I'll say set players previous, and instead of my ID, we are going to use the user's ID. Then this is their incoming stream is muted false. And why is it player ID? It has to be playing. Okay, there was a typo. Sorry about that. This is going to be playing. This is also going to be playing, and it is asking for if there is no stream, or if there is no my ID, or if there is no set players, then kindly return. Okay, don't do anything. And over here also set players. I think we don't need set players because it is already there, right? It has to be there. These are the only things that can go missing anytime. Okay, so we have this, we have set players, and what else we have? So we have the this thing. Okay, this should work. Now there is one more place over here where we when we answer someone's call, we get their incoming stream also. So over here, instead of new user, this would be caller ID, then incoming stream, muted false, playing true, and let me just update the dependency array, and it should be fine. Now over here, we have to do some things. Okay, yeah, we have to do few things. Yeah, okay. So let's just quickly first. So now what we have to do is we have setted our players. Okay, we have the basic player settings. We have set the incoming and outgoing streams inside a reactive variable. Now, if we all we have to do is we just have to iterate over the array, right? So if I just say since this is an object and not an array, so things are going to be a little tricky. Okay, so object dot keys. Okay, object dot keys in the players, and object dot keys dot player dot map. We are going to get a player info, maybe. Okay, uh not player, because since this is an array, so we'll get the player ID. Okay, this particular thing, so we can call this as a player ID. Okay, and we are going to extract some informations. We are going to get URL muted playing from player info. No, players player info, not man. This is going to be player ID. Okay, so we tapped on the object data and we have to return this player. Okay, and this needs a key, right? So key is going to be player ID, and we don't need a key, right? This player ID we don't need now, because I thought that we are going to consume it over there, but oops, but I don't think we need this anymore. So key has been provided, URL muted playing, and we can get rid of player ID. Okay, but yeah, so URL is going to be URL, muted is going to be muted, and playing is going to be playing, and that is it. Okay, let's just head over to our application. What is saying? Object is not iterable. Acha. Okay, use player is, did we mess anywhere? Okay, this has to be an object. Error happened while generating the page. Okay, something is wrong. What is this? Why is it even doing this? Okay, something is still off. Object is not iterable, cannot read property. Okay, what is happening? If I just comment it out, is it working? It is still not working. It has to be player. Okay, but what am I mean? This is players. Okay, use player. Okay, export default use player. Import use player form @/ hook slash. This is the use player. Return uh, player set players. है ना? This is use state. Or maybe let us just restart the server. Check. Okay, I think I found a mistake. It was because I extracted it out from the array, but instead it was an object. Alright, so let us start again. Okay, so let me create a new. I am joined. Let me copy, paste, join. All right, so this worked, right? The reason I closed is that because you might be getting the sound again and again from my device. So that is the reason. So what we did was handled signaling. If I just mute everything, okay, for now, okay, and if we just go to localhost 3000 and I create a new room join. Okay, no echo because I have muted the video and then I joined a room. So this video, my video is coming over here and the client's video is coming over here. Since I am on the same device, so we are seeing four instances of the same screen. But I think you got the point, right? You got the point. Like, why is this working fine? The reason is that signaling happened properly. Okay, signaling happened really fine, and these guys are able to broadcast their streams here and there. But now, as a like product developer, I want that my screen should be at like, so if I am the user, okay, if I am the user, my screen should be shown big, okay, and whenever someone joins, they should join over here, okay, like this, a small guy, okay. Or maybe you can do something like you can just create screens that can show them side by side using Plex or something. I think that should also work. But I don't want that because I would be creating some, Like I want is that my video should be shown big, okay, and whenever someone joins, they should be shown over here, or vice versa. Okay, active non-active player is the thing over here that we'll see in the next part. But in this part we handled the signaling, and now we have to make sure is that we have all the UI ready and other stuffs. All right, we'll see you in the next module. All right, welcome back to another module. So previously we had made a very good progress. Now each of the clients are able to see each other. They can, obviously there are no controls options right now. We are going to add that, but before that the UI is looking really very ugly. As like what we are going to do is like I'm gonna present my video as a big one, and when someone joins it, they can see, I can see them, they I can see them, sorry for that, I can see them over here, okay, as a square boxes. And ideally it should have been something like when I am the only one in the room, I should have my stream as the biggest one. And when someone joins in, I should be taken back to that small window, and I should be receiving the full screen stream of the incoming users. Okay, incoming user stream should be present as a full screen. But we are not following that terminology right now. I do like want that when you are seeing this video, by the end of this particular project, you implement this. Okay, you implement the feature where when someone joins the room, your video shall be taken up to the top right corner as a small one, and the incoming stream should replace it and should be shown as the bigger one. Okay, that is one task I am expecting you all to do. You guys are now well capable enough after React Yatra to deal with such scenarios. Okay, so I'll be not doing that stuff, otherwise it would unnecessarily stretch the video. We are already very long in the video right now. So I'll skip that part. I'll just quickly present myself, and whenever someone's joined, they'll see them over here. But you have to implement that feature, that is for sure. That okay, it is very really very simple. When someone joins it, you just have to change the active player's ID. That is the only thing, and with you have to add some animations. That is all. So that is not a big deal, but again, that is a good exercise. Take it as a homework, maybe. Okay, so yeah, coming back to this part, I want my stream to be big one, and when someone joins, it has to become small. So we'll head over to our code. We'll go to use player, okay, and inside the use player, yep. Hello, aspiring front-end developers. Ready to master front-end development, elevate your coding skills, and secure your dream job? I have a fantastic news for you. In today's dynamic web development world, staying ahead is crucial. You have aced the basics of JavaScript and React, but front-end interviews can still be daunting. But not anymore. Welcome to JS Yatra, your complete front-end interview guide. It's your mentor, your secret weapon to conquer front-end interviews. JS Yatra covers four pillars: JavaScript coding, machine coding, system design, and DSA in JavaScript. It's immersive, interactive, and challenges you like real interviews. Today, grab the complete front-end package for just $7.99. Unlock your 2025 LP opportunities. Enroll using the link below. By joining JS Yatra, you invest in your future and support orphan children. Let's make a positive impact together. Remember, you'll find a registration link in the video description, so be sure to check it out for a brighter future. Now, let's get back to the video. So in the use player, I need to get the my ID. Okay, my ID. The use player hook can be provided with my ID. So this is the my ID. I can pass this value to, sorry, use player hook. Why didn't, okay, quick question. Why didn't I used my ID hook over here itself? Yeah, 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 you get it right. Obviously, because the hook creates a separate instance, a new instance whenever you call them. So, whatever was the my ID being set inside this use peer hook is not going to be the same that we consume over here. For that, we have to deal with context. We haven't created any context for the peer, That is why this is the issue. Okay, and if you want, you can fix this by creating a global context, and whenever you use the context, you'll obviously get the same peer id. All right, so that was one thing. And so that is why we are doing this. So I'll also need to install Lodash. Okay, I'll need to install Lodash. So let me just quickly say npm I Lodash, and we have got the my id. Now I'll say that, so we need to maintain two things. One is the active player that is going to be shown big on the screen, and one is the little players that are going to be shown on the right. So first of all, I'll create the players, a copy of the players. So const players copy equals to clone deep from Lodash. Okay, so D will be performing a deep clone. Why? Because the stream is obviously going to be a nested object. We don't want a shallow copy, right? Because that is just going to clone only the parts uh, to the nesting level of one. Okay, if we have taken JS Yatra course, you already are well aware what's the difference between shallow copy and deep copy. So I'm not going into that depth. Okay, so we are having clone deep over here, and what we want to clone deep, we want to clone deep players. Okay, we have got the copy. I could have done json.parse json.stringify, but since we are making a project, we are free to use any library or what we want. So this was the Lodash library. And so the what would be the highlighted thing, the highlighted player, highlighted HIGHLIGHT highlighted is going to be player's copy of my id. So my player has to be active. Okay, then uh, I am going to delete the what I'm going to delete this player's I'm going to delete my value from the player's object, and now whatever is left would become the non highlighted, non HIGHLIGHTED non highlighted uh, players. So this would be players copy. All right. So we have got this stuff. Now let me just quickly send it out. Okay. Player highlighted, player, non highlighted players. It has to be players. Okay. So we are going to extract these two guys over here. Okay. Like this. And over here, what I am going to do now is that if we head over, so we have a div. Okay, we might want just a fragment, and I'll create a div over here. I'll call this as the container. Okay, now if we have player highlighted, okay, this is obviously going to be in brackets. So if there's a player highlighted, then we are going to render the player with the highlighted values. Okay, so the key is definitely not needed because we are not iterating. We have the URL, so it has to be player highlighted dot URL, not this. I just want everything before dot, including it. Player dot muted, player dot playing, and over here I'll create another div that is going to show the little rectangles, and I'm gonna move this inside. Okay, let us just quickly format the document as well. Yeah, looking much better now. And over here, so we have the player highlighted, players, object.keys, player. Okay, now instead of iterating over players, I'm gonna iterate over non-highlighted players, right? So non-highlighted players, and I think we should be fine. So we are not consuming players anywhere now, but let's see if we need this in future. Anyways, so we have done this, and we might have to we are seeing some gaps, but anyways, so that is due to bug. So let's just quickly close this part. let's head on to localhost 3000. I create a new room, and we are not seeing it anything because we haven't created the styles yet. All right, so let me head over to the styles. Okay, the styles are room.module.css. All right, so I'll head over to my file and I'll create one file for my room. So I'll call this room.module.css. Okay, then room.module.css, and this is the style that I'm just copy pasting, right? Because I really don't want to deal with styles right now. You guys are well aware with CSS. This is not a CSS video, okay? Just basic stylings like active player container is absolute. This is the width, left, right, some margin padding, height. Then inactive player absolute, it is going to be on the top right or something, okay? And what is the height of this and blah blah blah. So we are not going to CSS. Come on, dude, you are way better than this, okay? So coming back to the styles, I'm gonna styles import styles from @styles slash room.module.css. And where are we? Yep. So the active player container is going to have this style, and the inactive is going to have this style. Let's save this and come back. So it is a little better. Okay, it is a little better, and we need one more prop, whether it is highlighted or not. Okay, okay. So this is highlighted. So I'll say active maybe. Okay, is active or is highlighted, whatsoever the name you want. This is highlighted and these players are not highlighted. Okay, is active is false. We'll head over to the player. Okay, this is our player guy, is active. Okay, this guy is going to suffer with lot of things. Okay, so this was a player CSS. Okay, so we might have to give some styles. All right, so hmm so let me grab these things over here at better places. Just wait for a second. All right, so this is my index just right beside it. So first of all, I'll we have a div. Okay, we have a div, and we are going to nest various types of CSS. So let me use a really great package called as class names. Okay, if you're not aware with class names, then okay, let me do this for you as well. Class names npm. So class names, what it does is it is a really cool package that really helps us in appending multiple classes. Okay, so when we are dealing with multiple classes like this over here, we can append multiple classes to a single div, and the UI gets really very easy to maintain. Okay, you can explore this yourself. Nothing much is here, but yeah. So import cx from class names, and I'm gonna say the class name is going to be cx. Okay, and let us also import styles. So import styles from @component slash player slash index.module.css. And yep, let me just grab the styles, or maybe I write it down for you as well. So from the styles, we are going to first have the player container. Okay, now we create one object and we add a bracket saying what are the styles that we are going to apply. So we are going to apply style dot not active. If it is not is active, okay, then I'm going to apply styles of active. Okay, of active when it is really active. Okay, and if it is playing and not playing, Then we have one more style. So let me add this here as well. All right. So yeah, over here. Now let us just save this. This part will deal when we'll include those control icons to disable video streams. Right now it is not needed, so I'll just not confuse you much. Okay. So we have got our stuff. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add some styles. So what are the styles we are having? We are having a player container. We are having active and not active. We are going to format the document. So basic styling is nothing fancy. Okay, you guys can understand some shadows, some width, some rounded borders, handling overflows, margin, height, and whatnot. Anyways, so let us just quickly refresh, and maybe the styles are not getting applied due to some reasons. But yeah, we have this is active thing over here. So, or maybe if I just stretch it a little, this should be big. No, okay. I think I need to rejoin the room. Okay. So localhost 3000, create new room, and I'm not getting the big video. All right. So yeah, only thing missing over here was that whatever is the container size, I want my player to fit in the size. All right. So if you just give height and width as 100%, and let me just format it, and if you come back to the stream, you can see that the moment you increase, okay, the moment you increase the height, so it is taking the full height and width, right? This is exactly what we want. So we have a basic thing. Now let me just grab the uh, room ID and head on to localhost 3000. We enter the room. I join a room and boom. Okay, you can see whenever I join, I am over here. Now the UI is at least pretty fine. Okay, UI is fine. Okay, this is not looking like some lame project. Okay, this is looking okay. Something is happening. All right, so this is now fine. Okay, this was all in this module. We got to fix the stylings and other stuffs. I'll see you in the next module. So far, we have made significant progress in the project, and the users can share their stream, and we have done some stylings and all. Now, what we are missing right now is the control panel that we see at the bottom of the screen, where we can mute, unmute, we can disable audio, and we can leave the room as well. And there is one more component where we can copy the room ID, right? So I'll start off with creating the bottom control panel so that we can see like things happening more efficiently over there. And for that we'll be using this icon package called as lucid react. It is a great package, okay, to deal with icons and other stuffs. So I'll just quickly head over and install lucid react, okay, and so that we can use all the icons and other stuffs. And meanwhile inside the player, use player library, okay, sorry, custom hook, pardon me, will create some functions where we can like toggle the audio, toggle the video, and we can leave the room. Okay, so let's just quickly head over and create functions that we can consume later. So if I call this as const toggle audio, okay, this function when is going to help us mute and unmute ourselves. So console.log will add console.log. I toggle my audio, okay, and over here I'm gonna say set players, going to be the previous. And what we are going to say, first of all, we are going to create a copy clone deep of previous, okay. And what is it saying? Okay, so this is not expected, okay. Then I'll say that copy of, I'll access my player by my ID, okay, dot muted equals to this of, we are just toggling, right? So it has to be just opposite like this without any space. Okay, once this is done, I am going to return my copy. Okay, and once this is also done, like once this stuff is done, I'm gonna emit a signal from the socket. So I'll just first of all create the socket. Okay, import the socket, basically use socket. Okay, and I'm gonna say socket dot emit user toggle audio. Okay, and I'll pass my id. Okay, I toggle the video, so my id is being passed, and my room id. Okay, is room id being passed? No, right? We have to get the room id. Okay, so I think we can fetch the room id as well. So inside the use player, okay, inside the use player, we have the room id as well, right? uh this is, where's the room id? We haven't extracted the room id, we need that, right? So let's head over and create our, extract our room id. So const room id equals to use router dot query. Okay, now we get a room id, and we pass this room id to use player. Okay, now over here we get our room id, and in from this room id I'll pass it to the emitted servers. Okay, this is my toggle audio function. Similarly, what we can make is we can make a toggle video. Okay, so I think I'll just copy everything from here. I'll paste it. I'll say toggle video. I toggled my video, and I'll say set players. And if we want to disable our player, we can just say we can just change the playing property. Okay, copy my id, playing is going to be opposite. Then we are going to emit socket.emit user toggle video. Okay, and then we export this function from the player. Then we also need to create a function for handling the room, but let's just integrate these two functionalities in the project, that is to toggle audio and toggle video for now. So we'll head over to our socket servers. Okay, and over here, whenever we see that when someone toggles their audio or video, then what exactly do we need to do? So when we get toggle audio, okay, inside the toggle audio we get user id and room id. So we get user id, room id. Okay, I think we can copy this part of the code and paste here, and socket.emit.broadcast to room id. I'll emit uh, the same event maybe. Okay, the same event, and this user id was being passed. Okay, and similarly we can do stuff uh, for video. Okay, this is the video part. So we can head over and paste this and paste this and save this. Okay, so what exactly we have done so far is whenever we click our mute or unmute icon, this toggle video would be get clicked. Okay, this could get initiated. Then I'll set my players and say, okay, whatever was my player, okay, whatever was my player from my id, what you do is you just mute. Okay, you just mute that person. Okay, and similarly over here, whenever I toggle my video, just change this playing flag to false. What playing will do is whenever this playing is false, then the stream will get blocked. Okay, nothing will be shown. So this is the basic stuff that we can implement about toggling audio and video of ourselves. And right now what we have to do is we have to create the control panel where we can perform these stuffs. Okay, so I'll head over to the components and I'll create a new folder. I'll call this as bottom, not inside the player, bottom. Okay, this is the bottom section. So index.js file and index.module.css. Okay, this is our bottom file. And let's see what exactly do we have in bottom. All right, so first of all I'll create const bottom equals to a page. This is a component, sorry. So this is going to be, then we are going to extract the props. Okay, then we are going to destructure the props over here, and this bottom is going to take a lot of things. Okay, whether the bottom, so we have a mute icon, we have a toggle icon, then we have an icon to leave the room. Okay, so we have to disable state between the mute icon. Okay, mute and mute, so we'll need one state as called muted. Then if the video is like paused or not, then we need to tweak the icon again. So we show the camera, sorry, the recorder icon, and if the stream is being played, and if the stream is false, then a slash comes on the icon. We'll see that. So right now we need one more prop called as playing. Then we need three functions. Okay, action items, like I can toggle my video. So whatever functions we created inside the use player, we have to pass them. So it has to be toggle audio, toggle video. We have not created leave room function right now, so let's just live with this for now. Okay, then we are returning a div. Okay, and we need certain icons and utilities. So let me just grab those stuffs and add it over here. So we need cx from class names, or this is a known thing, and these are all the icons that we have imported from the lucid react. So inside the lucid react, if you go to icons, you can get list of all the icons. For example, this video off, right? We phone off, maybe phone off. So if you search this is the phone off icon that we will use, that use to leave the room or something. And you can click on this part, go to react, so you get the import, you get the usage. Okay, and you can also, I think, if I extend this, you can also change the customize the stroke, the size, the color. Okay, this is great stuff. Okay, so yeah, so let me fix this again. All right, so these are all the icons that we need for this project. And if I say if it is muted, okay, if it is muted, then show mic off. Okay, else you show mic. And if it is playing, then we have to show video icon, else the video should be off. Okay, and then we have one more icon, that is to leave the room, which is phone off. Okay, and this has to be a question mark, pardon. And we do simply export default bottom. Okay, and we will consume these class names once we have things running. And I'm going to import this bottom. Let us grab this over here beside room. And where are the components? Over here. So I'll just say import bottom from @component slash bottom. And we are going to place this bottom, let me check once, after the div tag, just right before the fragment. So we are going to place the bottom right over here. Okay, and this bottom component will control our highlighted component. Okay, so the muted property would be equal to player highlighted dot muted. Okay, dot muted, and then we have playing is again player highlighted question mark dot playing. Okay, then we have toggle audio as toggle audio, and toggle video as toggle video. And we have not imported these two stuffs, so we are going to import from the use players. Okay, over here. So toggle audio, toggle video. Okay, we got these two stuffs and we can render them. Let us just format the document. Okay, this is looking pretty now. Now we'll head over to the bottom section and see if we are able to see anything. I'll just head over to localhost 3000 and let me just restart the servers. Okay, once, so that there is updated UI. Although there's a hot reload, but sometimes I don't know, maybe due to bug or something, the UI is not loaded as it is required. So I'll create new room. You can see the icons over here, and this is not styled right now. Okay, these were expected to be here somewhere. Okay, so that is something we have to fix right now. So I'll head over to my application and I'll add some styles. Okay, so I'll grab my styles over here and paste them and just format the document. So this is the bottom menu. It has a absolute flex justify between. Bottom say it is 5 like 1.25 rems, left is 0, right is 0, mx auto, this is the width, and all the icons are having this design, like what is the color when we hover or when it is active, and some basic stuffs. Okay, so I think this is something not to be taught. Okay, but I just explained anyway. Now we'll head over to the room bottom section part where we are going to apply the styles. Okay, so by default the size of all the icons is going to be 55. Okay, so let me just apply it to every icon. Okay, the size is 55, and let me just import the styles. Import styles from @ components slash bottom slash index dot module dot css, and on the mute mic off. Okay, on the mic off, this is going to be the class name. So by default icon style is going to be applied, and um, if it is muted then it is in active state, and otherwise it is not. And this particular div section is going to have a class name of bottom menu. So this is the bottom menu container, and when we click on the mic off I need to toggle my audio video. So toggle audio over here, then toggle audio over here as well, and a basic styles of icon over here on the mic. You really don't need cx over here, so we can get rid of cx and just add styles.icon. Then let's come to video. So video is going to be again having styles.icon basic class. This video is having basic class, and on click of it we are going to toggle the video. So toggle video over here, toggle video over here, and when the video is off it has to be in active state, so I'll add one style over here. Okay, styles.icon, styles.active, and phone off pay, we have styles.icon. Okay, and we really don't have anything to on the click of it, so we'll keep it as it is, format it like this. And if I come back, you can see that this is looking way much better. Right now I am muted, so it doesn't really does anything, but if I click this, are you able to see my audio? I'm really not sure, but it is somehow working. So let me mute myself again. Okay, and let other user also join the room. Okay, so I can copy my room ID, come over here, join room, and I can see each other. Okay, but the moment I unmute myself, I think this is not getting reflected here. I think this is not getting reflected over here. Okay, so somehow, like whenever I mute or unmute myself, this is going to trigger some events that is expected. Uh, where's the console? This is the console. So the moment I toggle, okay, I am getting the consoles here, but this guy is not aware. But this guy is not aware that whether the audio was tweaked or not. Okay, so we need to fix that. And how can we exactly fix that is basically not a fix, just that we have not implemented the feature right now. Okay, so you remember that inside the use player I was able to toggle my mute on unmute state or toggle my video, but I also have to communicate this thing to other connected peers as well. So over here, whenever we were broadcasting this stuff, okay, so we didn't really had any event listeners for these particular events, right? So we have to add these listeners so that we can act accordingly and update the players. All right. So we'll head over to my room ID and we'll create one hook. Okay, so we really don't want to mess things over here. Okay, this is working fine. I'll just create another use effect. You can you can have these logics over here as well. Okay, but I really don't want like the control panel related APIs to be inside other hooks as well. We just can separate it out in a separate use effect hook so that it becomes more organized. So this use effect will deal with all the control panel stuff. Okay, and this also adds a great separation of concern in the code as well. Okay, so first of all I'll say socket dot on. Okay, socket dot on user toggle. This is what we are emitting, right? Whenever someone toggles their audio, so when someone toggles their audio, this is what we are going to do. And we are going to create a function that is going to handle const handle toggle audio. Okay, so we are going to pass this, and what is it going to take? It is going to take the user ID. Okay, this is going to take a user ID and return. We are going to call it a off, and we have to add dependencies. It is really very easy. If not socket, then please return. And I'll say console.log user with ID toggled audio. Okay, and let me just add this, and it is going to print perfectly. And we are going to call toggle audio, and we pass the user ID over here. and let us quickly append it. And we have to update the toggle audio. Okay, this can accept the ID, and if no ID is provided, it will point to my ID. And over here we will just update it to ID. Okay, no, I think we should not use this. Why? I'll tell you, because I'll tell you why we should not. Okay, so this function is actually emitting this signal, right? So whenever someone is uh, when we are consuming any events, we don't have to emit any events over there. So this function we can't reuse over here. Okay, which ideally we should not. Okay, we should do something like, we just have to do this part. Okay, this part only. So over here, set players previous, copy, clone deep. Do I have clone deep over here? No. So let me just import clone deep from React and Lodash. Then we have copy muted, and instead of my ID, I have to pass the user ID. So user ID, and this would do the stuff. And this wants to update the packages. Okay, this is done. Now we want to check for the video as well. Handle toggle video. So I'll just copy this. Okay, add it over here, add it over here. This has to be off. Okay, and then we are doing similar stuff for handling the video change. User with user ID, toggled video. Okay, and over here when we are changing the video, this has to be changed from the playing, and this is fine. Then just format this document. This is looking good. Now if I just head over to my application and close this, close, come to localhost 3000, localhost 3000, I create a new room. Okay, I am muted. So console, this is my streams and all. I open the console and this is all it is. Now let me grab this part and paste it over here, join room. Okay, now we have incoming stream and other stuff. Let us just clear these console. And now whenever I toggle my audio over here, I should get logs over here as well. Okay, so wait and watch. So I toggled my audio twice and it was communicated over here very perfectly. Okay, so this was really good stuff over here. And now what we have to do is we have to update the UI accordingly. So when the player is muted, unmuted and other stuff, so my stream is coming over here, right? My stream is coming over here, so I have to change. I will add one icon. Okay, mute icon, unmute icon over here, and this is going to change accordingly. Okay, so this is going to be really very fun. So let me go to code, and over here inside the player only we have to deal with the stuffs. So let me grab player. So we have playing, and if it is active and muted and unmuted stuffs. Okay, so react player beside react player, okay, inside div only, if it is not active, which means that it is not a highlighted player, that small icons, okay, we will add only on the right, on the videos that are shown on the right hand side, the mini players. Okay, so on the mini players I'll say, first of all, if it is not active, okay, if it is not active, then we have to do some stuff. Otherwise do nothing and print undefined. Now if this guy is uh, not active, and if it is muted, okay, if it is muted, then I have to write mic off and other stuff. So let me just copy all the icons from the Lucid React. Okay, these are all the icons which we are going to use. So if it is muted, then it has a mic off. Otherwise, it has a mic on, basic, which is basically mic by default. Okay, and the size is going to be 20. The size is going to be 20, and the styles are going to be styles.icon. Okay, let us format this and let us check if we have the icon styles. No, we don't have the icon styles. So I'll grab the icon style over here. Okay, and I'll just add it over here. Now if we head over the application, you can see this nice mute unmute icon, right? So if I just toggle my audio, just check how it is getting triggered. Okay, so check this. Okay, you were able to see that, right? So correspondingly, right now I'm not seeing anything. The moment I unmute mute myself, I am getting two echoes. Okay, I don't know if the audio was captured or not, but this is how exactly it was looking over here right now. Now we also have to deal with so this audio toggling part was done. Now we have to deal with changing of the audios, okay, video, sorry. So over here in the bottom, sorry, in the player, this is always shown, right? The moment I toggle my video, see, the moment I toggle my video, it got stopped at both the places. But ideally, this should not happen. Okay, the moment I turn off my video, it stopped. If I click this, it is resuming. Okay, okay, nothing is happening. The moment I change, see, this is working. I pause and see, okay, this is also a confirmation that this stream is coming over here and this stream is coming over here. Okay, so coming on that part, ideally I should show one icon and stop my stream. Okay, this should not be shown over here like this. So how can we exactly fix this? This can not fix this, implement it, because this is not a bug, this is a feature. All right, so really very easy, right? Really very easy. So you just need to check that if it is playing. If it is playing, then render the React player. Otherwise, we are going to render this. Okay, we are going to render this part. User square. Okay, this is just an icon from Lucid React. This is the class name. This is the size. Okay, why this is size? If it is a active like highlighted player, then I'll show big icon. If it is on the right mini player, show a smaller size. That is it. And we need some styles for the user. Styles are really actually nothing, just some text changes. Okay, now if I go and pause, okay, you can see that this guy over here, I am getting a user icon. Okay, and is it aligned properly or not? Let me just verify this once. Player container, player active, maybe something is being missed. Let me just check once. Okay, I think there's one class was missing, not playing. Okay, so let me just check, or maybe we can rejoin the room and see if it was being missed. Not active, playing is player container active. Okay, so let us just go to localhost 3000, localhost 3000, and let me also check if I'm consuming all the classes. Okay, player, yeah, this class was missed. Okay, not playing, and this should fix the thing. So if I create a new room, okay, I copy my room ID, I join, I am seeing two guys over here, I close this, and the icon is now perfectly aligned in the center. Okay, so over here these two are looking fine, just fine. And do I miss any other class? Let me just cross check. Okay, nothing is being missed right now. This looks okay to me. And if I resume this audio starts coming. Okay, this is looking just fine. Now we have to implement this call drop functionality. Okay, we have to make sure that whenever we drop off from the call, we like delete the user and do other stuffs. All right, so we'll go to the player, use player, where is it? Okay, we'll have a leave room functionality. So I'll create one function called as const leave room. Okay, and I am going to emit a event. I'll say socket.emit user leave, and my id and the room id. Okay, so I left a room. This was my id and this was my room id. Okay, I'll add a console.log leaving room, leaving room, and then room id. Okay, then I have to make sure is that I will disconnect my peer. Okay, so we have established a peer connection with PeerJs. Okay, don't forget that is a baseline of the whole application. That is the core of the application of our Google Meet clone. So when we kind of did, like whenever we established a connection with the peer, whenever we are disconnecting the call, we have to free our peer from the PeerJS server. Okay, which server I'm talking about? This server that is running on port 3001. Okay, this is really really important. Okay, so over here, like whenever I am doing the stuffs, I have to pass my peer anyways. So in the room over here, we have got the peer. So we just have to pass the peer to the room. Okay, peer to the room. Sorry, to the use player thing, and inside use player we get the peer. Okay, and over here in the peer, I'll say if peer is there, then disconnect. That is it. And it now I want myself to be redirected to we don't have router, right? So we have to get the router again. Oh, so this is const router equals to use router. Okay, and I'm gonna say router dot push take me back to the root home page, leave room, and then we'll export this leave room functionality over here. Then we'll come to room id page, we'll extract leave room from here, and then we'll consume this leave room in the bottom. Okay, and we'll go to bottom, we'll get leave room, and on the click of it, on click, I'll call this leave room thing. Okay, now if I just click this, I got disconnected from the peer, but again my stream is still being served to this guy. Okay, so we need to fix that. Okay, we need to fix this part. This is clearly not what we want. So if I just go to localhost 3000 again, and okay, I create a new room, I copied my stuff, I went to room id, I joined myself. Okay, the moment I leave my room over here, this this stuff should be gone. Okay, this part should not stay. Okay, so we have to fix that part. Why this okay, there should you should ask one question, that even though I disconnected from the peer, I am still seeing my stream, right? Because the call is still active. Okay, we have not disconnected the call. So if you remember, come to this room id thing. So whenever we were receiving a stream and other stuffs, we initiated a call. So whenever someone is dropping, okay, we have to explicitly drop the call, okay, for like things to get closed. Okay, so what we have to do is, like, whenever I disconnect my call, when someone disconnects the call, they usually, I have to listen for someone leaving a room and disconnect my connection with him. Okay, there can be multiple peers. What I did was that I just disconnected my connection with peer, but still the stream was on. Okay, this part was still on. So how can we fix this? This can be fixed really very easy by maintaining an array of users. Okay, this is the hard part. Okay, try to be attentive over here. So I'll say that, okay, so I'll maintain users. Okay, users, set users. Okay, it could have been something like peers, set peers, but peer is already a keyword used already, so we are not using that again. Then a use state with empty array. Now whenever a connection, a incoming call is being established, okay, what we have to do is we have to just say, so this time we have set the players, now we have to set the user. Okay, whenever I establish a call with someone, I'll store the user id, and the value would be the call object. Okay, this call object in future will help us to close the connections between the two peers. Okay, I'll tell you how. So whenever I call someone and whenever they send their stream back to me, i'll say set users I'll say set users previous. Okay, and we are going to return one object, so this is going to be like this. uh no, not like this, like this. Okay, and I'll say dot 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 previous. Then I'm going to store the new user id. Okay, this is the new user id, and with this new user id, this was my call object. Okay, so I'll store my call, and that is it. And we are going to do the same when when someone calls us and when we get their stream. Okay, so this is the set pair over here, and over here what we'll do is, we'll, instead of new user, we'll have the caller id. Okay, we have the caller id and we establish the call. Now this is the thing. Now inside the use player we have emitted a event user leave. So we'll head over to the API. I'll copy this part, I'll paste this, and this is the name of the event. So this is leave user leave. And what exactly I was sending? My id and room id. Okay, user id, room id, and this is okay. Okay, I joined the room, I say this user left the room. Now we'll head over to our effect where we were dealing with everything about the control panels. Now over here I'll just create one event for user leave, and this is user leave, this is user leave, and the function would be handle user leave. So const handle leave. This handle user leave will get a user id, and I'll add a console that user with user id is leaving the room. Okay, and all I have to do is I'll have to close my connection with him. So users, I get the user data by accessing the key. So user id, and if it exists, then call the close function on this. Okay, this close function exists with the call objects. Okay, we are storing the call objects over here, so they have on, then they have also something called as close. Okay, this close would help us to close the connections with the user. And let me just quickly update, and handle toggle leave. And what else we have? So now we have implemented the code. Now we should check it. But before that, let us just quickly terminate the server and rerun it again. So because sometimes it doesn't pick up the changes. Okay, so we have to refresh our clients. Okay, now if I say create new room, I am in a room. I copy my room. I click here and I join. So you can see that I am seeing streams. Now I clear the consoles and I go off from the stream. So now my stream was disabled. Okay, it was disconnected, and it says user with is leaving the room. Then I'm leaving the room, and okay, these logs are perfectly fine. And if I close this also, then this should also be gone. Okay, this is perfect. Now what we want is that, okay, right now this is not perfect. Why? Because even though stream was gone, but the player wasn't removed. Okay, we need to remove the player as well. To remove the player, I think this is really very easy piece of cake. So first of all, we'll create the player's copy. Okay, from the players. This was the player's data. Okay. Then what we did was we deleted the player and then we set the players. Simple as that. Okay, nothing fancy. I think you guys are pretty well versed how these things work. So create new room. I'll copy this part. I'll enter. I'll join the room. And the moment I disconnect myself, the player is gone and boom. Okay. So we have implemented all the control panel features. Okay. Mute, unmute, disconnect the video and drop off from the call. These three are the core functionalities that we just implemented. In the next module, we are going to implement that copy section where we can copy our room or something. So yeah, to see you all in the next module. Hi, so welcome to another sub module where we are going to do some kid stuff. Okay, I mean by kid stuff is that have you seen that a basic box, right, where you can copy the room ID. So that is what was left. I forgot to cover that, so I am covering it now. So we have to make that thing. Okay, copy section. So I'll first of all create one component. Okay, this is a kid part. Okay, nothing much is there. So new folder, copy section. Okay, so we have this index.js file, then we have this index.module.css, and let us see what we have in. Okay, so we need one library which is called as React copy to clipboard. Okay, this library basically helps us to copy stuffs. Okay, so this is what we are going to use. You can check this library and learn more about it. It is really very easy. Okay, so let us come back. All I have to do is, where is what this is what I have to copy, install this. Meanwhile, it is getting done. I head over. Yeah, this is done quickly. I'll just copy my two stuffs, copy to clipboard and copy icon from usage React. Then I'll say const copy section. Then this has a prop, and definitely we would need a room ID to display. So room ID from the props. Okay. Then we return a div. Okay. This is the main div. Then we have another div that would contain the heading. So div that would say copy room ID. Okay, then we have a horizontal rule, then another div which would have a span where we render our room ID, then copy to clipboard stuff. So let me grab this. So copy to clipboard, what we want to copy is this, and we have any clickable item. This is the icon over here. So just format it. Okay. save this, export default, copy section, and I have to add some styles. So I have already written, so let me just format. So flex, absolute, some borders, some text colors, then height, width, bottom, then some margins, then font sizes, and again a flex. This is really very easy. Okay, just pause. You can pause the video and have a look at the styles by yourself, or you can create your own component. Okay, this is not a rocket science. This is just simple CSS. So let's come back quickly and let me apply the styles. So I'll just quickly import my styles from component, copy section, and I'm gonna apply these styles over here. So copy container, copy heading, then we have copy description, and what else? I think, yeah, this is it. We head over to our room ID page, and where are the components? This is the component. So import copy section from copy section, and right below, right above the copy section, we are going to say room ID equals to room ID. Save this, head over to the application, refresh it, create new room, and voila, you can copy this, paste this, and join this, and we have our application full and fledgedly working fine. And I can mute and mute. I can mute and mute. I can turn off my video. And I turned off my video. Okay, but this is not getting reflected over here. Okay, I think we have a bug. Did I forgot to consume the event somewhere? Maybe yes. So user toggle video. Okay. Uh, user toggle video, and then uh, handle toggle video, and let us see if okay, it happened eventually. I think there is some lag. Okay, this is lagging a bit. Let me. Okay, I think we should restart the servers. Maybe there are lot of connections or something happening. So we can go to localhost 3000, localhost 3000. Okay, the servers are not running. Then what we have to do is we have to restart the PeerJs server. We have to restart our local servers. We go to localhost 3000. We create a new room. I copy this. I click this. I join this. And my streams are here. And I disabled my video, but it is taking some time to getting reflected on the user screen. I toggled my video. User with user peer ID toggled video. Okay. Okay, I think there is some bug. Let us quickly see to that. Yeah, I think I actually got the bug. The issue was that so these things, right? These things are really very important. So the cleanup function, we forgot. We had user toggle audio, we had user leave, but we forgot to add the handle toggle part, right? Handle video. Now the moment I save this, oh, I accidentally left the room. So I create a new room, I join this, I copy my room ID, I join this. Okay. Now if I just toggle my video, it is happening very frequently, right? Okay, this bug was fixed. Actually, I think I missed it somehow. So this is working. Toggle audio is also working. Okay. Now let us see what would happen if we have a third user on the play. Okay. So let me copy the room ID and say localhost 3000, and a third user joins. and just see how slow this is going to be. Okay, so I joined the room. Okay, now see, this is taking so much time. Okay, so we have got all the panels and everything over here. So my video got rendered now. Now let us just wait when my this his video, the third person's video, would be rendered here and here. So now you can see we have got three users on the screen. Okay, okay, we have got three user. I think this is a good time to take a screenshot. uh, Let me take this a screenshot. This is fine. Okay, coming back to the point. Um, yeah, so see, this is lagging greatly, right? It took a lot of amount of time for the third person to show even on the local machine. Imagine these things being communicated across globe through various servers and other stuffs. Now if I just leave my room, now this thing is going to take some time. Okay, this is eventually going to get removed, but it took some time, right? Because again, it is a mesh topology and it is not very scalable and it takes a lot of resources. So my friends, this was let me just get rid of the calls. My friends, this was the Google Meet clone for you guys. And before you hang over this particular video, before you close this video, I just want to say that please do like this video if you found it helpful. I am trying various initiatives to come up with new concepts, new videos, new kind of projects for your resumes that can actually get you shortlisted. Trust me, making Swiggy clone, Google like YouTube clone, all the basic crud applications basically will not help you crack good companies, my friend. Okay, you have to really think out of the box with creative projects that can really outshine you in front of any other common resume. Okay, these basic crud application, to do app, or Swiggy clone, YouTube clone, man, these things are outdated now. Nobody really builds Netflix clone. Nobody builds, man. Nobody builds these kind of projects. That is why I wanted to make you aware of what is happening in the current industry. See, many good people, okay, many good students, okay, be it third year, final years, they are making even better projects than this. Okay, yeah, so you have to be in the game and not just at the game. You have to beat everyone and be at the top. Okay, that is what I am aiming for you all. Okay, so I want you all to be top in the game. Okay, be top notch players. Okay, you crack everything, you are the best. That is what I want. I don't want you all to be average players. Okay, I want to say that if you like this particular project, okay, this took me a lot of time, and let me tell you how. So first of all, I researched about WebRTC. Okay, what is the WebRTC, how it works. I understood all the diagrams. I explored PeerJs. Once I explored everything, it already costed me 1 week. Now it took me another 1 week to try out this project myself on my own. So I built this project all from scratch without looking into any tutorial or other stuff. Okay, I took created this. It took me 1 week. So 1 week of research, 1 week of making this project, and another like week or a 10 days to record this video. Okay, now after recording this video will go into editing phase. That would take again 5 days and it would cost me money because I have to pay my editors and other people. Trust me, my friend, this that is why my videos are taking time, a month or so to come. Because earlier what I used to do was I used to like pick one question, hardly 5 to 10 minutes video, and record it and just upload it. It doesn't require much of a bandwidth. But now, as a responsible teacher, as a responsible influencer, I am researching so much into every video. You might have seen that drawing tool video, usme we have extensively done a good job. Then this Google Meet video, obviously these two are top notch projects, and you'll not find these two projects on any YouTube channel. Okay, any big YouTube channel. Okay, these are crazy projects. Okay, and then React Yatra, my friends, 11 hour video, this was just a killer. Okay, this was just a killer. So what I'm creating, I'm teaching you things that real value, okay, that adds real value in your resume, in your life, and it would help you crack interviews, get good promotions, or whatnot, or whatever good things happens, right? So I want everything for you. Okay, that is my aim. And yeah, so we have covered this particular good project. We have done React.js project. Now, if tell me in comments that if you want a course on Next.js or not. Okay, again, that is going to take time, but if you want a good course on Next.js, then do let me know in the comments, bro. I'll be happy to make these project kind of tutorials for you. Yeah, that was all in this particular project tutorial video. Like this video, share this video, and make this project better. You can do better as well. You can introduce new functionalities, like you can introduce making share screen, or you can like implement more better UI or whatever you want. Okay, it is up to you. You can improve the functionalities. And like this video, share this video, friends. And once you have finished making this video, tag me on LinkedIn, tag me on Twitter. I am very active there. Okay, and don't forget to join the Discord channel. That was all in this particular video. This is Vedanjan. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye.